All right, I think we're live. I think I have nothing set up, so bear with me. But yes, this is real. Um, we have begun. The war with Iran has started. Hopefully we're live. I don't even have the screen pulled up yet, so I'm so far behind on everything. But yes. Breaking, the U.S. military is now striking Iran. Per multiple reports, these strikes are occurring way beyond Tehran. This is not solely an Israeli action, and it is not a small strike. So that's where we are right now.
Or multiple other countries in the Middle East. And I do have some breaking news for you as well now, Alex, which is that the United States is also striking Iran. I'm told this by a U.S. official who tells me that the United States is indeed carrying out strikes against Iran. This is not solely an Israeli action. And this official also tells me that it is not a small strike. So we can expect that the United States military is currently bringing massive air power towards striking Iran at this stage. We don't know the extent of those strikes as of yet, but it is clear that the United States is carrying out strikes alongside Israel against Iran. Those strikes are currently ongoing, and a United States official now confirming that to me and stressing that this is not a small strike.
So now we're finally getting everything rolling. So yes, here we are at 2:20 Eastern, and about 20 minutes ago we started to get these reports first we got the reports that Israel was that had struck Iran, and then we started getting reports that the United States actually was involved too. So now there's going to be a lot of stuff on social media that I'm going to try to dig through here. But there's reports that Khamenei has been moved. I don't know if that's true. Tehran's destroyed. I don't know if that's true. There's going to be an absolute shit show of people putting information out there. So it is being reported by locals in Iran that the Israeli airstrike successfully hit Supreme Leader of Iran, the Ayatollah. Again, these are only reports right now. I have to imagine that if the United States strikes Iran, I would have to imagine that they know exactly what they're hitting. So, yeah, here we go again. Iran says, let the world know we did not start this war. I don't know if that's true. I'm just, again, literally everything that I am passing along to you is stuff I'm seeing from, an Autism Capital is a good account, but, just take everything right now. We do know that war has started. We do know that the United States is involved. We know that Israel's involved. We do know that they have attacked Iran. In terms of the details, we shall see how all that works out. So I am going through it as we speak. So hello, everyone. Yeah, another stream today. I have no notifications, so please, if you're part of, our Reddit community or our Twitter community or whatever, please share this video out, like the video, talk in the chat, help that algorithm move, because I've been live so much today. I have no more notifications. So, big smoke rises in Tehran following Israeli strikes on Iran, which was also United States strikes. So, Johnny says, thanks for covering this, bro. Hey, hey man, that's what I do. And honestly, if I would not have seen a few things in the chat the other day, when President Trump had the assassination attempt, at Mar-a-Lago the other day, that has been painfully undercovered by the mainstream media. I went live that night and I saw a lot of people go, I didn't even hear about this. And I don't take myself too seriously as a commentator or a YouTuber. I think I'm pretty retarded. But in that moment, I realized there's a lot of people that only watch my channel for news. Not everybody, obviously, and there's a ton of people that you can watch, but a lot of people only watch me for the updates. So I'm sitting here going, I'm ready to play some Resident Evil and chill, but the people probably don't know about this, at least some people. So here we are. Jeff says, I was doom scrolling on TikTok. Well, this isn't much better. This isn't much better. Okay, so key government facilities across Tehran and Iran are being targeted as reported. Second wave of U.S.-Israeli strikes target intelligence headquarters, the presidential palace, and other key facilities across the city, per Reuters. Iran's supreme leader has already been moved to a secure location. The targets of the strikes and recent reports of Israeli media that the assassination strikes were carried out do indicate that at least the wave of strikes were. So anyway, that's what we have. I don't know what's true and what's not at this point. So there are reports that he was injured. There are reports that Tehran has been destroyed. We don't know yet. Donnie Danko says, thank you for legitimate news. More explosions in Iranian cities. I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these cities right now. The coordinated Israeli-U.S. attacks continue. So these are happening right now, as we speak. Is this a live feed or not? I don't think this is a live feed. All the airspace has been covered. All the airspace has been shut down in the areas. So that's with Israel and Iran. So it's okay, Jeremy. You can barely pronounce most English words. This is very true. This is very true. Not trying to fool anybody. Okay, so Wall Street Journal reports that. Okay. I'm looking for more stuff as we speak, but if you are tuning in, I will put this on the screen so you can see that this is actually happening. Jaegerbomb says, I'm stationed in Bahrain. How are you all finding out about this before we are? Well, wish us luck. We're going to need it, apparently. I've got a lot. Like I have so many alerts on my phone. So, I mean, I don't have any inside sources that anyone else doesn't have. But here we are. You guys be safe, brother. Jeremy's overnight shift at the truck stop glory hole is cut short. Well, that's not real, but you sound disappointed that it's not. That's a problem you need to work out. I saw I think it was Flag Ninja sent a super chat, and I've already missed it, so my apologies. All right, let's see where we're at now. So yes, we are officially at war, ladies and gentlemen. What's going to happen? I don't know. Thomas Massey's tweeting about it. He says, acts of war unauthorized by Congress. The U.S. is attacking Iran, according to the AP. So Thomas Massey, always willing to grandstand on something. So Reuters is reporting that the Ayatollah has fled from Tehran and was moved to a secure compound. How do they know that? How do they know this? Like, I don't understand how they even have this information. How does Reuters have this information? That makes no, like, we can't find, okay, here in the United States of America, we can't find Nancy Guthrie after 3 weeks, the most ridiculous investigation we've ever seen. But I'm supposed to believe that Reuters is like in a group chat on WhatsApp with the Ayatollah. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. How do you have this information? Like, oh yeah, we've got a WhatsApp group chat. We send memes and shit. And now they're telling us that, you know, he's in a secure location. Okay. Let me see here where we're at. Okay. Elon awfully quiet tonight, considering the Pentagon drama and potential beginning of World War III. Not a single concerning wow. Someone do a wellness check. That's what Autism Capital said. I don't think we're at World War III. So I'm not really too worried about that. But unless we get some transparency from the administration, I'm not happy about this. I'm not like totally going to say this is the worst thing ever, too, because we have Trump has been negotiating with them for a while, but I'm not thrilled about this news. But we'll see what happens throughout the night. It's going to be a long night. Two big updates here. Israeli media outlets have now reportedly said that several assassination strikes were carried out against Iran. New York Times and Wall Street Journal confirm that it is indeed a joint U.S.-Israeli operation. More to come. So this is where we are. World War 199. That's where we are. This is about correcting a mistake made 47 years ago. Well, listen, there's a group of people on the internet that don't have the ability to have any nuance whatsoever. And so when those people hear the word Israel is involved, there's no point to even have a conversation with them, because that at that point in time, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. No details, no nuance, no context. If Israel's involved, there's no point to even talk to them because they've already decided where they stand on it. I personally got my Mossad check already, so I've already been paid, so I don't have to shill for them. They've already paid. Get Mossad to look for Nancy. Flag Ninja says, no worries. Here's another one for you to not read. Hail the 199. As long as it's not a forever war, then at least there's that. Agreed. Ladybug in the house is emergency Cobra Cast tax. Marmillan must be asleep. How much was the Mossad check? $7,000. You voted for this, Jeremy. Everyone here voted for this war. I was about to say the Walter White line, but I'm trying not to say GD. But I'll just say, you're damn right I did. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Are you going to cry? What are you going to do about it? Yes, I did vote for it. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to type a little bit harder in the chat? What do you think you're going to shame me by me saying that I voted for the greatest president in the history of this country to do what we wanted him to do, which is to protect our country? Go fuck yourself. You can't shame me. I'm already retarded. Dorkman with 10 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Donuts in the chat so I can glaze Trump. Donuts in the chat. Glaze Trump. Bohica for 10 says, y'all doubt Jeremy's reading ability, like pronouncing Acetaminophen. Is that how he said it? Is that what he said? Acetaminophen? Is that how Beardo said it? Acetaminophen. I think that's what it is. Iranian leaders are going to have to pull a Saddam bin Laden. It becomes the next Venezuela type recovery. Listen, I'm going. Hang on. I'm listening to something in my ear. Okay, this is a false alarm there. So I do have another feed in my ear from like a media channel that I'm gonna try to listen in and see if they are updating anything. But right now there's nothing. It's just boring crap. Emily Kruger says 199. Thank you so much. I was about to go to bed. Now this. I was about to play Resident Evil. You know, like, come on, Trump. Seriously. I voted for donuts. Me too. Me too. Glazing and amazing. Yeah, I got Mossad in my ear. So, let's see. Jeremy getting that 7,000. You know it. Okay, so right now, if you're just tuning in, well, I'll just play the clip right here. So here we go.
or multiple other countries in the Middle East.
Trump is playing Resident Evil 9 right now.
Some breaking news for
I
you
can
as
barely
well
hear
now,
these when I
Alex,
have that in my ear.
which is that the United States is also striking Iran. I'm told this by a U.S. official who tells me that the United States is indeed carrying out strikes against Iran. This is not solely an Israeli action. And this official also tells me that it is not a small strike. So we can expect that the United States military is currently bringing massive air power towards striking Iran at this stage. We don't know the extent of those strikes as of yet, but it is clear that the United States is carrying out strikes alongside Israel against Iran. Those strikes are currently ongoing, and a United States official now confirming that to me and stressing that this is not a small strike, a lot or multiple.
So we've got this right here. Iran operation was planned for months. Launch date decided weeks ago. That's the Israeli defense officials tell Reuters. Dozens of U.S. strikes being carried out by attack planes from bases across the Middle East and from one or more aircraft carriers, a U.S. official tells the New York Times. Flag Ninja says, it's a surprise Cobra Cast when I'm number one. Dougie B for 20 says, damn, a Cobra Cast late night. You know it, man. No sleep for the miserable. So here I am. And Dougie B is no, Dougie B is not number one yet. Flag Ninja, you're still number one. Clip that. Shane says, that got you on the TV. Wife says, seriously, him again? Welcome to the family. Hey, that's awesome, man. Tell your wife I appreciate her not being too mad at you for having my ugly face on your TV. Whenever people tell me I'm on their TV, it does kind of freak me out. Like, like you tell me I'm watching you on my computer. Okay, that makes sense. You tell me, hey, I'm taking a shit watching you while on the phone. I get it. Putting me on the TV with my boomer ass, it feels weird, man. Only important people were on TV back in my day. And now I'm on your TV and I just feel weird. But thank you. I appreciate it. Little Jim Taylor says, leftist tomorrow, Iran flag. Bubba Doom says, Trump released a video on Truth. Did he? Okay, let me pull this up. Hang on. Stop making me feel old. Am I not signed into? I don't know my sign in on True Social. I don't think. Okay, never mind. It worked. Okay, here we go. Trump. Here we go. We got a video from Trump. Here we go. It's thinking. Why is it thinking? What's wrong here? Somebody going to upload this to Twitter because it's not working. It is not working. What the hell? Okay, let's see if we can get this. It won't load. A lot of viewers are. Fox News is now also saying that sources tell them Iran's supreme leader has been moved out of Tehran to a secure location. The servers are crashing on True Social. Somebody's going to have to get this up to, let's see, on Twitter here in a minute. Too much traffic. Twitter's probably going to crash here in just a minute. And then you guys are going to be stuck looking at my stupid ass, and I'm not going to be able to know what to say. I'm like, the Twitter's crashed, so I don't really have anything to add. So here's Sydney Sweeney. I don't know. What else am I supposed to do? Nothing. All right. Well, Twitter's not updating either. Twitter's completely crashed. So I can't even get Twitter to load right now. YouTube won't let you super chat, Flag Ninja. So now is it broken now? Is YouTube breaking on us? All right. Yeah, I've opened up in a new window. Can I download the video maybe? No, can't download it. see here. Video won't work for me either. Jeremy's has Obama Wi-Fi. Still number one. Do better, says Flag Ninja. Okay. Yeah, Twitter is completely dead for me. Let me see about, give me a minute. We're going to get all this worked out. So bear with me. Okay, we've got this. Is Newsmax live? They're on a freaking commercial. Okay, we got one other option here. Give me just a minute. Dark Schwartz Rises says super chat testing 1, 2, 3. Iran cyber attack to cope. By the way, if we get any new viewers in here, I need you to all understand that if you see me saying anything offensive or anything that seems like that I am just completely retarded, I am retarded. But here, okay, we got a feed right here.
Who is traveling in Texas? Peter said, is there a risk that a strike could turn into a long, drawn-out conflict in the Middle East? And the president responds, I guess you could say there's always a risk. You know, when there's a war, there's a risk in anything, both good and bad. We've had tremendous luck with myself, Soleimani, al-Baghdadi. Everything's worked out. And then we do the Midnight Hammer and so many others. Everything's worked out, and we want to keep it that way. Let's talk with Victoria Coates, who's been good enough to rejoin us. She's a former Deputy National Security Advisor. Victoria, when you let the genie out of the bottle, when you uncork the U.S. military, anything can happen. But the planning that has gone into this strike, I'm sure, has been extensive.
Oh, I got it. I got Trump.
Especially,
got Trump. Here we go.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Woo. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
A lot of you are asking, where is this at? This was uploaded to True Social. It is now being widely circulated everywhere, including Trump's own Twitter account has posted this as well, which Trump rarely ever tweets anymore. So like that's the first thing he's, actually tweeted out directly outside of retweets since, January 30th there. So Trump did put it on his Twitter account, or X, whatever you want to call it. So you can find it over there in its entirety if you're tuning in. But if you are tuning in, yes, the United States and Israel have started attacking Iran. And there's a lot of different reports out there. But this is one of the main reports that we're getting. Iranian officials claim that their supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, is not in Tehran and has been transferred to a secure location. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's what Reuters is reporting now. Reuters must have a group chat, WhatsApp group chat, where they share memes with all of the, supreme leaders, and maybe that's how they have the information. I don't know if that's true, and I wouldn't believe most of the details that you're hearing right now. I would probably wait to see what is actually let the dust settle, because there's going to be a lot of BS that's going to be happening. Did you say microwave pizza rolls? Yeah, why not, man? I'm from Alabama. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up with white privilege, okay? I had to use a microwave. So sue me, okay? Sorry. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant. A lot of people are finding this through the algorithm, and they're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Flag Ninja says, F it, #1 tax, at least for now. There it is. See, Dark Shorts Rises is #2. Dougie B turns it off. So he says, I didn't even opt in for that crap. But yeah, microwave pizza rolls, get the hell out of here, man. That was how you impressed. That was how you impressed the girls back in the day. You're like, hey, come over to the house. Let's play some Mario Kart 64, and I'll microwave some pizza rolls. That's how you impress the girls in Alabama. Sometimes it was your cousin, but what are you going to do? Okay, so yeah, we're just seeing all types of stuff right now that I can't, like right now, I'm seeing this, that this guy was eliminated. Like, I don't know if this is true. I don't believe any of the crap that we're seeing right now from a lot of these sources. First stream of the day, Jeremy. Yes, first stream of the day. Video from Tehran shows the first moment of strike right here. So this is from Tehran. So there's going to be a ton of people that are going to be running with, the narratives of what's going on, why this is happening, all of that. For the people like, the people today, like, if you're like blaming Israel for everything, I just want to let you know that I was driving down the street the other day. I got a flat tire. Israel did it. 100%. Like, I've got it. Like, I don't have any specifics on it, but I'm pretty sure Israel is the reason I had the flat tire. Like, I don't have any proof, but I found a group chat on Reddit that showed me like secret tunnels in Florida where they actually flatten people's tires. So I'm pretty sure that they did it. And also, Jeremy, you're an idiot. No, I'm an IDOT. And if me being sarcastic about Israel upsets you, that's the point. I want you upset. I want you to get mad about that. I do. I really hope it upsets you. And I hope you lose all respect for me when I say shit like that. That's the goal. Reuters reports that Israeli officials say the attack was planned months ago in advance. The launch date was decided weeks ago. Twitter is a mess right now. My Twitter algorithm is a mess. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Pull that up. What if nothing ever happens? Yeah, I saw this one right here earlier. The nothing ever happens crowd. Hey, God. This was a funny response. The feeling when something actually happens. Nothing ever happens. Boom. Well, okay, something happens, but it doesn't need to happen like that. That's how the nothing ever happens crowd gets mad. And they're like, well, nothing ever happens. And then something happens. They're like, okay, well, I mean, not like that. It can't happen like that. And so it just shows you that these people they're never satisfied. Donnie Danko becomes a member. Thank you. Dark Source Rice says, do we know any specifics of the strikes yet? There's a ton of reports, but I don't there's so much to filter through right now that it's almost impossible. Here's what we'll do. We'll go over here and we'll see what they are reporting.
Back to 1979 of how Iran has posed a threat not only to Americans, but to the region at large. He talked about the IEDs that killed Americans in Iraq. He talked about the terrorism, the proxies that have been unleashed on the world and have terrorized Americans as well as the Israelis, as well as others in the region. He then had a very stern message. He suggested that he described this as a massive operation and a noble mission. He had a message to the Iranian people that this is the time to, first of all, in these coming days, to stay inside so that they avoid being hit by the bombs that are going to be dropped. He had a warning that they need to shelter in place right now. But when the bombs stop dropping, he encouraged the Iranian people to rise up, to take back their government. I can tell you from talking to sources in the region that there have been at least 30 strikes on 30 different targets, that in fact, the targets included, as we've mentioned earlier, Ayatollah Khamenei's residence, as well as his office complex, where that would be a huge symbol for the Iranian people.
Okay.
It's not clear.
Okay, so I just wanted to see if we get any updates from her. I think she has TDS. Dougie B says, I have you on my 77-inch OLED earlier today. If that makes you feel any more insecure, it definitely does. JRG Project says, I was just watching a TIE Fighter Top Gun mashup on YouTube, and I got this breaking news insanity. It sounds like a pretty good mashup, to be honest. Let's see. Magnum North says another $10 to my favorite grifter, possibly the best grifter of all time. Possibly. Cheesy Terrian says, who's on daily tomorrow? Jeremy is whatever you're trying to say there. Homosexual man. Damn it. Gave you another super chat. F YouTube. Well, tomorrow's Saturday, brother. No daily. Let's see. Barking says Nick Fuentes is vindicated and right all along. Yet you're watching me. And then Barking says, this is the most Jewish administration ever. There's no way this is good for America. This is solely for Israel. Let's see. Bohica says, you ain't a boomer and I'm Gen X. That is true. I'm not. TVZTQ says, in 1990, I watched, let's see, F1. Oh man, hang on. What? Oh, I saw their stupid thing right here up top and I thought they had breaking news. You know, that breaking news banner. So whatever. Bomb Iraq and BBC, and I have a telephobe. Oh, you're like changing words up because you can't type them in a super chat. Asking for donuts on my phone. Yes, donuts in the chat. If I'm glazing Trump, you have to drop donuts in the chat. That's the rule. I didn't make that rule up. Sam Y says Iran cyber attack to cope. Bubba Doom says both are working on my end. Let's see. Balls for T says, not sure if I should like a strike on Iran like this. What happened to diplomacy talk at the State of the Union? Dude, Trump has been trying to make diplomacy with these clowns for fucking since he's been in office. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that. Now, again, do I like the idea that we are at war with Iran? No, I don't like it on the premise. I don't like it. But that's just me talking about at a kind of surface level. I don't want us being at war with anyone. Okay. So I have the ability to say, I don't like war. I don't like that we're at war. I'm a huge Trump supporter. I have the ability to say that. And then I have the ability to also understand that there's a ton of details and a ton of nuance that goes along with this that I don't fully understand. Now, do I believe that President Trump is doing this for the best interest of the United States? Absolutely, I do. Do I know that for a fact? Outside of the fact that I believe in the guy because I've been supporting him for a decade, but I don't have the fucking specifics. I know a lot of people online have all the specifics, but I don't have that. But I do believe Trump is doing this for the right reasons. But I still don't like it. But welcome to the world. Welcome to life. People like to live in this utopia where if they don't have 100% of everything that they want, they find that 1% and they get really, really mad about it. Well, that's just not how the real world works. So Beastie Man says, just finished watching Scream 7. Then this happens. We're going in, boys and girls, FAFO mode. Hail Trump and the 199. I agree. Let's listen in, see if there's any update.
Clear how they are getting that message into Iran, because that is a really important message for the military to lay down their weapons and the offer of immunity. But at this moment in time, they also, from what we can tell from the targets that have been chosen, they are striking the IRGC headquarters and locations.
And let's not forget, it was only less than a month ago where Trump told them, if you kill these protesters, we're going to come after you. Reportedly, and it's impossible to know the specifics, but reportedly they've killed tens of thousands of protesters, tens of thousands. So, I mean, let's not, some people may just be waking up to this and being like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like, have you not been paying attention? Who have you been listening to for the past several months? Like, this has been building and building and building. Trump has put verbal warning after verbal warning after verbal warning over and over and over again. So, I mean, I don't know who you've been listening to, but it's clear you're not listening to somebody who's being honest with you and telling you the truth. They're keeping you in a bubble that they want you in if you don't know that this was building for a while.
This very massive attack, and well, the president also said that there are likely to be casualties. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be this one night of attacks. It sounds like this could go on for some time. E.J. Kimball, once again, Director of Policy for the U.S.-Israel Education Association. E.J., your thoughts?
Well, thanks for having me on early this morning. Look, I think President Trump's statement hit the nail on the head. This is a war that Iran launched against the United States 47 years ago, and I think it is vitally important that he laid out that predicate here. This isn't a war that the United
Somebody in the chat says, why should I care what's going on in Iran? Because they're going to build a Buc-ee's and McDonald's in Iran when this is all said and done. That's why you should care, because if there's more Buc-ee's and more McDonald's, the world's a better place. You're welcome. There's your answer.
President Trump mentioned going after the proxy networks. That's vital for both U.S. interests in the region as well as Israeli interests with counterstrikes. And I think.
Hold on now. No, they don't get Culver's. We're not giving them. No. Buc-ee's and McDonald's. They can't have Culver's. No. You make English your first language and you can have Culver's. But until then, nah.
On Iran, look, I think this is going to be challenging, but the president's made it clear the United States is going to help the Iranian people with the ability to seize power. The question is whether or not the Iranian people will be able to do it.
You said, hang on, he responded. He says, that's a stupid answer. How does this give me land to buy at reasonable price? How does this make my groceries cheaper? You're asking a YouTuber that begs for super chats that runs a channel called Geeks and Gamers. You asked a stupid question to a retard. You're going to get a stupid answer. Why the fuck do I know? The fuck? Tell me how this helps me. I don't fucking know.
I don't know if he is the guy for the job, but what I do know is that what we saw with this regime in, as you mentioned, 32,000, and there's been reports of much more. And quite frankly, unless and until this regime is removed and we can actually see the full devastation of what happened on January, beginning of January, how many were slaughtered, we have seen that this regime, just like Hamas in Gaza, they don't care about the people, and they're willing to sacrifice the people to maintain power. And right now, as this regime is now running and hiding, hopefully they will be removed in short order so that the people can take control of their country again. You know, hopefully there can be some consensus by some leaders to run this country and turn it away from the path that it's been on.
Okay, dropping the memes for a minute because I know we have more people tuning in right now. So it is 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right now in the United States here in Florida. Red state, by the way. Pretty close to being a blue state. We almost had a gay black crackhead running our state. That's why it's important to pay attention to your local, elections and local officials, because we almost had a gay black crackhead running the state of Florida only a few years ago. But thank goodness for President Trump endorsing Ron DeSantis, we don't have a gay black crackhead running our state. So because of that, it's awesome in Florida. Now, with that said, here we have this about maybe an hour ago, we got reports that Israel had attacked Iran. A few minutes later, it was confirmed by U.S. officials that the United States and Israel were carrying out joint attacks on Iran. President Trump has released an 8-minute video over on True Social, which has also been posted on Twitter, and it's probably all over Facebook and Instagram too, giving his reasons why. I will replay that video here in just a minute. Now, in terms of the details, it's kind of a mess to try to kind of filter through what all got struck, what all got hit, what's the situation with the supreme leader in Iran and the Ayatollah. I'm still trying to work through all of that right now. So that's the quick update as it stands.
It's not for now, but for the future. Any reaction that you're hearing in Israel to what the president had to say?
Yeah, John, the United States and Israel are striking Iran as we speak. President Trump addressing the world, saying this operation is massive and ongoing. The Israelis are already responding. I'm talking with sources here who are watching closely what the president says. We understand there was a significant amount of coordination over the past not only several weeks, but several months between American and Israeli counterparts in preparation for these strikes. I have learned that we're sharing intelligence and preparation to make sure that the missiles were able to land in the right location.
I just saw that someone told me I messed up my title on my stream. I set it up so quickly, I just corrected it. Damn you. You guys waited 45 minutes? Like, that's what you think of me? You just let me have the wrong title?
That is expected to take multiple days. It's important to look at what President Trump said about how the Americans will go after Iran's ballistic missile program. He says that Iran was developing longer range missiles that threaten the United States and other allies around the world, and that the U.S. will destroy that missile program because it was not only threatening Israel, but the United States. You know that there are somewhere between 30 and 40,000 U.S. troops as we speak in the region. There are bases.
It was funnier not to tell you, says Loki. Yeah, that's what my parents said when I turned 20 and found out I was retarded. And I says, why didn't you tell me? And they were like, it was funnier not to tell you. I was like, that's fair.
Come to the table and to make those diplomatic concessions about their nuclear program. And you heard President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, in an interview on Fox. It was very interesting last weekend. And he said they're not quite sure why the Iranians are not getting the message. President Trump has proven time and time again that he is going to do what he says he's going to do. Remember, when we look at the history here, this is a man who ordered the killing of Qasem Soleimani, a top Iranian general. And we're just getting an alert now as we speak, John, from Israel's home front command, and my cameraman here is going to zoom in on the phone, and so we can see if you can see it here.
Careful, man.
But there's
Careful,
an alert
brother.
coming in right now from Israel's home front command, and this is warning people about incoming missile fire. My producer is going to translate it directly for me here. Just stand by 1 second here, and you can see that alert. Okay, so the translation here, the top line translation, John, is alert in your area. Please go to a safe room. This is indicative of incoming ballistic missile fire or drone fire. Just give me 1 second here. I just want to talk to the crew here. What do we know? Okay. So, John, again, these alerts are expected to go out across the country here. It says, enter to protected space. And again, this is just an indication that the Israelis believe there are possible launches from Iran that could come and target population centers here. As we know, during the ongoing operation that took place last summer, the Israelis had to intercept a lot of the incoming fire, and they had help from the Americans to do so. There are a number of alerts that go out, and we're going to stay up with you here, John, as we go back and forth talking about this situation with the latest information, because normally how this happens, and you can see there are a lot of moving parts here. We have to take a lot of things into consideration, but the emergency alert goes out on the phones, and then as any sort of incoming fire gets closer, the sirens will sound across major cities like Tel Aviv, Israel's second largest city, and that is considered the last alert amid the incoming fire. And as this alert has just gone out, I want to break down what Israel has to prepare in terms of the ability to shoot down the incoming fire. They have smaller range systems, including the Iron Dome and David's Sling, but it's really the Arrow 2 and 3 systems that will be active if there is any incoming ballistic missile fire. You also have THAAD and Patriot missile defense systems supplied by the Americans that are on the ground here in Israel. And remember, there are some U.S. forces here that are helping in the southern part of the country at the CMCC because President Trump was able to get that ceasefire together between Israel and Hamas. And so there are American forces on the ground helping to implement that ceasefire. But of course, this is a separate issue here.
All right, I can't let this keep playing without, commentating on it, because this is live right now that we're watching. So, and a very important question came in. And D-Day Cobra, since you know everything, what's the meaning of life? Make money, get bitches. You can quote me on that. Okay, so right here, Trump is calling for Iranians to overthrow the government right here. So here you have it.
Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
So this was a part of Trump's 8-minute address that he uploaded to True Social and to Twitter. And so let me see if I can find it. There was one more that I wanted to play, and we can play the whole thing if people are interested. But if I can find it. Right. Well, let's go back to this feed, and I'm keeping an eye on that right now. It's going to be a fun night, and I say that very sarcastically. But we can play Trump's video if people are tuning in, if you want to hear Trump's full video, we can do that. Just let me know in the chat if that's what you want. I can play the whole thing. So this started about little over an hour ago. That the U.S. and Israel attack Iran. So let's see. You're the host. Yeah, but the chat's in charge. So the chat runs the show. I'm only here. Listen, I'm here to be a pretty face. So that's really all I'm here for. You guys don't have to compliment me. I already see enough compliments. So you don't have to compliment me right now, but I know I'm here. I'm the pretty face. So I get it. All right. You guys want to hear it? A few people have not heard this. I want everybody to hear from Trump. So here it is.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel.
Someone in the chat says, if you believe this, I'll feel sorry for you. Well, first of all, you didn't spell you correctly. So if you're going to feel sorry for me, you could at least spell the fucking word correctly. Okay. But you're probably a little bit emotional right now because your favorite podcaster is telling you this. It's right here. Okay. So you feel sorry for Yoy. Okay. So spell correctly, first of all, if you want to be taken seriously. Secondly, I voted for this, just so you know, and I hope that upsets you.
In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon.
Never.
That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordo, Natanz.
Is this live? This was uploaded about 20 minutes ago, maybe about 30 minutes ago. So this is very new. This video is very new, but it's not live.
And
I'm live.
Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
So there you have it right there from President Trump. We got this feed right here. Somebody tagged me in this.
As long as Donald Trump's, my brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, a short time ago, Israel and the United States embarked on an operation to remove what he describes as the existential threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran. He goes on to thank Donald Trump and says, for 47 years, the Ayatollah regime has been shouting death to Israel, death to America. It has spilled our blood, murdered many Americans, and massacred its own people.
I swear, dude, every time I see Netanyahu, he just looks like a mall kiosk guy. He looks like the mall kiosk guy that I just want to avoid. Where I'm like, oh God, the mall kiosk guy saw me. Oh, he's gonna talk to me. That's what he looks like. He just looks like a mall kiosk guy.
The words of Donald Trump. The time has come for all segments of the Iranian people, the Persians, the Kurds, the Azeris, the Baluchis, the Awazis, to throw off the yoke of tyranny and bring about a free and peaceful Iran. He says, also, I appeal to you, the citizens of Israel, to listen to the instructions of the Home Front Command. That is the app I was telling you about that supplies instructions to all Israelis about how to behave and where to seek shelter at times like this. Together, we will stand together, we will fight together, we will ensure the eternity of Israel. So how do we translate that? Well, that is Benjamin Netanyahu saying, A, we are doing this alongside the United States. Remember that the US is, in a diplomatic terms, Israel's not only greatest friends, but one of its last remaining extremely loyal diplomatic allies. And he is saying that this isn't just about destroying Iran's stockpile of ballistic missiles. This isn't just about nuclear enrichment. This is about bringing to an end the regime of Ayatollah Khamenei and his predecessor. This is about,
so one thing I'll say, because I'm not going to keep letting all this shit play, but one thing I will say is like, just to be, is like, Trump can't let this drag out for a long time. Because if it does, that's not going to be good for him. We got the midterms coming up. I think most people are supportive of this for sure, but I also think that MAGA does not want to be pulled into a forever war at all, under any circumstance. Nobody in MAGA wants forever wars. Now, I don't think that that's going to happen, by the way. I don't think that this is going to be a long-term situation, but I'm just making the statement that has to be understood. And I think that they understand that. I don't think that the Trump administration wants to get into a long-term situation here at all, but it's got to be over, and it's got to be over quickly. And so we'll see. I mean, dude, every time there's any military action, the people online are like, oh my God, it's World War III. I thought you voted for no new wars. It's like, and then it's over. You know what I mean? So Trump doesn't want forever wars. I know that. And so, but I'm just saying, like, right now, where we are going into the midterms and all of that, and I think there's a lot of good momentum. I ignore a lot of the noise that we're hearing from a lot of people that are former DeSantis bros and a bunch of libertarians. I ignore all of that noise because there's no point to listen to that. But like, MAGA in general is very happy with Trump. There's a ton of momentum for Trump, and the Democrats are completely retarded. So these things need to be noted. Venezuela was, 2 days. No, Venezuela was like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, Venezuela, as soon as that thing happened, people are like, oh my God, we're at war. And it's like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. So we'll see how this goes. Let's hear what this update is.
I think that is besides the point. And it's unfortunate that Congressman Massey is saying this. He's an outlier on the Republican side. I don't think he represents anyone more than himself. I think the Republicans will support this, and I think a lot of Democrats will support this. Iran has been declaring open war against the United States since 1979, and their goal is to globalize the international holy war and international terrorism. They do that through three ways. One is the nuclear threat, which they have been vigorously trying to build for decades. The second is the ballistic capability, which could overwhelm Israel's Iron Dome defense because of the sheer size and capacity of the new weapons they're developing. And 3 is the sponsoring of the surrogate armies and terrorism all over the world. The Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas. And so Iran has been at war with the United States for decades. When Barack Obama naively signed the nuclear deal with Iran back in the 2010s, the first thing Iran did after it received pallets of cash from the United States was to go out and start assassinating Americans and assassinating Europeans. And I think for the most part, Western leaders, including presidents of the United States, and I'm pointing directly at Obama and Biden, have been played as chumps on this. Iran has never been serious about negotiating not just the nuclear issue, but the ballistic issue and the international terrorism issue that they support. And they have been, they have lied about it. And we have tried everything under the sun, John. We have tried economic sanctions. We've tried international organizations like the IAEI. We've tried partial strikes. Nothing has worked to change the maniacal will of this regime, whose professed ideology, John, if you look at what they say and if you look at what their surrogate armies say, like Hamas.
And yes, he mentioned Thomas Massie at the beginning of that, and Thomas Massie is definitely going after Trump. I know, very shocking that Thomas Massie grandstanding on this issue along with every other issue that he's ever talked about. But ultimately, we are where we are. And it's one thing, like, I think credibility matters. And so Thomas Massie is the boy that cried wolf. You know, I mean, if you're going to cry about everything Trump does and vote against everything that Trump wants and try to be this person that grandstands, then nobody's going to take you seriously, even when it's a serious topic. You're just a clown at that point. So, yeah, that's who he is. Z Money says D-Day Cobra, I thought it was Israel that struck, not U.S. I just got here, so I don't know. It is 100% U.S. and Israel in a joint attack. I did get this 50 from the Bella Stella. Says, I appreciate waking up to a pretty face. That was so nice. Thank you, Bella Stella. Hail to you. Let's see. Captain JPS says, that's just great. Trump visits one Whataburger in Texas and he thinks he's ready to end world hunger. Trump's appearance at the Whataburger was pretty legendary. So, Cheesy Tarian, let's see. Does going after Iran lower or raise the price of lamb or beef if the sheep effers get bombed? Do they butcher their herds and send them with oil barrels? What's up, Cheesy Tarian? Let's see. Holy effing shit. Let's go. The fact that you got that whole thing through a super chat is impressive. All right. So shout out for that one. That's shocking you made it through that with the censors. Mike says, sorry, I'm behind. Did we just go to war with Iran? I don't like that, but is it justified? Yes, this is the definition of peace through strength, which is what Trump has run on. He's campaigned on this. He's talked about this for years. He has tried his best to negotiate with them. He has tried his best to warn them. He has been leading up to this. So yes. So absolutely. In my opinion, some people may disagree, but in my opinion, this is, absolutely. Why is Jeremy censoring us now? What do you mean? Do I censor? No, dumb fuck. Google censors. I don't censor anybody. I don't have anybody blocked on Twitter. I don't censor anything. But it is YouTube, and YouTube censors are insane. So yeah, you should know. If you've watched me for any significant amount of time, you know that I'm against censorship. So that's why I call you a dumb fuck. If you're not a dumb fuck, I don't apologize, because you are a dumb fuck for answering that, for assuming that I'm censoring. So you're a dumb fuck. If you're offended by me saying dumb fuck, I'm going to keep saying it until you leave and go watch Steve fucking Lookner so he can censor his fucking chat. Okay. And you can't say anything that he doesn't agree with. JRG Project says air campaign. Yes. No soldiers on the ground. Tweety Tone says, shut the fuck up and play Resident Evil 9. That's what I was planning on doing. And then this thing starts. John Jones says, I was about to go to bed. Fuck. You mean, well, I wasn't going to bed, but the Can Man raiding the chat. Oh, Can Man, what were you playing tonight? John Gets Gaming says, or use oven for anything with bread taste way better. Bird Up says, since we're doing this, can we invade Canada too? No reason exactly except Canada is gay. Pretty good reason, to be honest. I don't know how to say your name, but Israel bombed them for 12 days last year. What's new now? Will they make a ground invasion? I think it's about regime change. Feels like 2004 all over again. Well, what's different is I guess U.S. is directly involved and Trump is directly involved now. So Flag Ninja says some super chats work better on different platforms. Some super chats that can't go through mobile work on PC for me. Yeah, I mean, I've it's happened to me on people's channel before when I was sending super chats to them. I've been censored, and so to be fair, I really don't have a problem being a sarcastic asshole to people. I really don't. With that said, I kind of do feel bad for being mean to people over censorship on YouTube, because some people just don't understand that YouTube has these auto censors that it'll drive you crazy. I know a long time ago, before I really, had a channel that was doing anything on YouTube, I felt like I was being censored in the chat. And this was before it got worse. The censorship on YouTube is terrible now. Speech Force says, Jeremy, why weren't you on FNT? First time super chat. It's just because I had so many streams today and I had to work some time in to get other stuff done. So, Net Steelers says, fucking Jeremy, why do I bother sending a super chat? He ignores me like Don Lemon ignores Sydney Sweeney. Well, now we got to go find yours. Net Steeler says, most of you are all too young to remember the overthrow of, is it Shah? And taking the 66 American hostages. This is 37 years late. Thank you, Trump. There, Net Steeler. Are you happy now? Still number one, fuck. Moron in all caps? Like, who's the moron? I need you to specify. Like, are you calling me a moron? It's fine if you are. I need you to be a little more specific, because when I see the comment go past and you put all caps moron, I don't know if you're calling someone else a moron, if you're calling me a moron, are you calling Trump a moron? Who? I'm just asking for specifics, man. I'm just trying to understand. So, Jeremy seems like a narcissism, not gonna lie. I seem like a narcissism, or I seem like a narcissist. Like, you understand there's a difference, right? Jeremy seems like a narcissism. I seem like a narcissism or a narcissist, because narcissist, you know what I mean? Well, no, because if you would have said Jeremy seems like a narcissist, I would have thought, you mean like Lex Luger from WWF back in the day when he was the narcissist before he became, the Lex Express? Again, how am I supposed to know what you mean? You didn't think a Lex Luger reference was going to be here tonight, did you? Okay, let's unmute and see what's happening.
That include
of its own citizens
They're replaying
on the
that
street as
okay,
they protest.
They're replaying that right now. Let's see what they're saying over here on this feed.
If there wasn't an attack,
no, got to go back here.
Attacks in American forces in Iraq, and then all of the more recent stuff. And he had a whole line of things. And then he went off script a bit and said that they can't be allowed to do this. And we just can't stand for it. We're not going to stand for it any longer. There's a degree of personal exasperation, which is obviously not on his auto cue at that particular moment. But, I mean, it was a terrifically important statement, because, in the last week or two, critics in America have said that this is a war in search of a strategy. The Americans are building up for some sort of war, but they don't know why. And
all right, you're kind of boring, to be honest with you. Nothing personal, man. Nothing personal, but I'm looking for updates. So the updates are few and far between right now. And what I am seeing is a bunch of people trying to spread a bunch of just like AI video on social media. And so there's just so much going on right now. Let me see if we can get a live feed to pull up about this. And we got that. That's an AP feed. That's not going to be good enough. I mean, I guess this is a live shot. Maybe this is from the AP, so I'm assuming this is legit, but we don't know. Now, as soon as Fox News cuts away, okay, they did cut back. So let's
bunker busters, but the talks broke down. Recall just a few days ago, his negotiating team of Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner were in Geneva with indirect talks. Some might likely face-to-face with the Iranians, and the talks went nowhere. You heard some positives from Steve Witkoff, but officials say most of the U.S. team did not feel they got what they wanted out of these talks, and that's why we heard from President Trump earlier today to our own Peter Doocy when Doocy asked him about the potential for strikes. He says, I don't want to use the military, but sometimes you have to, words to that effect. And when a reporter asked him earlier, have you made a decision to strike? It was notable, President Trump's answer. He said, if I tell you that, it'll be the scoop of the century. He didn't say he hadn't made up his mind. He didn't say he was still contemplating. It made it sound like he had already made up his mind to strike, and clearly that appears to be the case. And just to put a fine point on it, how rare it is for the U.S. military and major combat operations, which President Trump says are going to be massive and ongoing, to launch these during the day, during the holy month of Ramadan. And again, we also have the Jewish holiday of Purim coming up on Monday, which is a celebration of defeating ancient Persia, which of course is modern day Iran. But President Trump saying that this will be a massive and ongoing operation, and also a warning to American citizens, John. This was very notable in his address. The Americans might take casualties during this operations.
It's fascinating.
That's a very concerning line when he said that, because I do think boots on the ground is going to fundamentally change how a lot of MAGA is going to view this. I think that when you're conducting airstrikes and strategic airstrikes, and you're trying to get rid of their nuclear program, all of that. But that's it. I don't see boots on the ground. I personally don't see boots on the ground, but I'm just saying that is a fundamental difference in how this is going to be viewed. But I 100% trust Trump on this.
National Supreme Council, the Ministry of Intelligence, the Iranian Atomic Energy Agency.
He's talking about our bases being bombed, not boots on the ground. I mean, I potentially, and I understand that if that's the case, but all I'm saying is that if we do put boots on the ground, it fundamentally changes everything.
With Iranians cheering as that complex was hit. But what is very significant is listening to President Trump as he outlined to the American people the justification for why the U.S. is involved in these strikes, what you could call a war against Iran. And he goes all the way back to 1979 when 66 Americans were taken hostage in the U.S. Embassy when students there stormed the embassy and held them for over a year at the end of the Carter administration. That was when Ayatollah...
No one is reporting boots on the ground right now. Quit spreading lies. Maybe learn how to fucking listen. I never reported that. I'm not a reporter. I'm surrounded by video games in my room. Do I look like a fucking reporter? I've got NASCAR going on, a fucking NASCAR video game. Not you, Jeremy. Fuck. Now I feel bad. All right, I got to drop gifted memberships. He wasn't talking to me. All right, we're dropping gifted memberships.
Of the coming days as this massive bombing campaign takes place. But afterwards,
all right, we're dropping the
urged
gifties.
them to seize this moment.
We fucked up.
And when we are finished, he said, take over your government. Seize. He said, the hour of your freedom is now. So he had a message for the people of Iran. It's clear that the U.S. and Israel are carrying out dozens of strikes involving tomahawks, as Lucas has described, tomahawk missiles, standoff weapons, as well as airstrikes across Tehran, as well as at nuclear sites and at ballistic missile sites across Iran. I think it's significant to remind our viewers that back in June, the Iranian Navy was virtually untouched in those strikes. When the U.S. sent the B-2 bombers, it was really focused on the 3 nuclear sites at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. But the Iranian Navy can cause a lot of damage to not only to ship.
I don't know if you guys remember this, and there's a gifties, by the way. That's my apology to you for not or getting it wrong and trying to roast you. So my apologies. Anyway, I think we got an opportunity here. So if you guys remember, Jimmy Kimmel came out with that shirt, the Donald Trump is going to kill you shirt. Remember that? Well, Trump, you need to start selling the shirts, okay? You need to start selling these shirts immediately. Put them on your website and just be like, let's roll it out. Let's sell the shirts and let's do it, okay? Donald J. Trump is going to kill you. There it is. The Bella Stella with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Appreciate that. Johnny says, what if anything? What if Jeremy dropped a gifted membership on your head? Who is it that I comment again? The guy that said the reporting thing that I roasted and then I was wrong. So I can highlight you and credit you for the gifted memberships. I don't remember your name, but I remember your profile picture. There it is. Oh, you got a gifted membership through that? Dude, hang on. Yeah, you got a gifted membership through this. Let's go. And the Mega Man picture, I respect it. So there we have it. So did you get it gifted through me or was it Bella Stella's gifted? That's amazing. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, either way, that's good. So, it was me. So when my 10 gifted memberships, so you commented something, you were directing it to the chat. I responded, roasting the living hell out of you. And then you're like, I wasn't talking to you, Jeremy. I was talking to the chat. I'm like, oh man. So then I dropped gifties and you got one of them. Perfect. Perfect. That's awesome.
First target was the compound belonging to the Ayatollah. So perhaps they had some information. The Israelis have incredible intelligence about the movements of opposition leaders. And it could be that the Ayatollah was just arriving at his compound then. And maybe that's why they decided decided on a daytime strike. And that was perhaps the first of the strikes. Go ahead.
Thank
John,
you, Rhino
based on
Helix. Appreciate
conversations
it.
that I've had with officials over recent weeks, the targets and the timing of these strikes, this has been planned for some time. And I think when you're talking about this many pieces that have to be coordinated, both between two countries, as well as the naval, the air assets involved, and this is like conducting an orchestra. So I don't know that there would be a trigger such as an individual, but I do believe that they targeted Ayatollah Khamenei's compound, obviously for a reason. Symbolically, that is where you would strike if you wanted to decapitate the regime. And I think it's significant that it was during the day, because remember, during Ramadan, there would be fasting, people might be at home. And so if you were expecting the Ayatollah to be in in his residence, Ramadan would be a pretty good time to expect that he would be home fasting. But it's also significant when you look at the strikes against the parliament, against the National Security Council, against IRGC targets, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. The president was very clear that he had a message for the Iranian security forces. And he said that if you lay down your weapons, you will receive total immunity. Otherwise, he promised them certain death. He was colorful in the language that he used as he laid out the case for why the U.S. is attacking Iran right now. Remember, earlier in the week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with the Gang of Eight and laid out what, in essence, is this operation. We heard from some of the Democrats who left that briefing, expressed alarm. Chuck Schumer, the majority leader, came out and spoke to the cameras. We did not hear from some of the Republican leadership after that briefing, but it was clear that the administration was going through what is required in terms of.
I just saw this tweet hit my timeline. Okay. So I guess this is an Iranian account. If I am proven wrong about Trump, it will be the greatest relief and one of the best days of my life. I need to be wrong about him. He needs to come through for Iran. Pray. She just quote tweeted that. And she says, I was wrong about him. I'm so happy. Thank you, President Trump. So there you have it.
Nuclear weapon on his watch. That is something he repeated tonight as well, John.
That woman's voice is annoying. You're talking about the chick on Fox. She's annoying in general. I'm pretty sure she's a Trump hater. Pretty sure. But you know, we'll see. All right. So Iranians are happy tonight while the Panicans are whining. That's exactly what's happening right now. That's so funny. Like, so Iranian people are very, very happy. Obviously, when I say they're happy, like no one wants to be in the situation that they're in, but they do want to see the Ayatollah fall, for sure. So, but then you have a bunch of libertarians and DeSantis bros that are really, really upset tonight. So, okay. Yeah, this I don't want to keep you listening to this woman because she's annoying. See what I'm saying? There's so many videos of stuff like I'm seeing shit like this on my feed. Like I don't it's just putting crazy stuff out here, man. I'm like, I don't know what's real and what's not. I have no idea if it's real or is it Israel. I don't know. But we'll see. So I don't want to show a lot of that right now because there's just a lot. I know I'm assuming almost all of this is old footage that people are sending it out and they're like, look, this is the attack right here on Tehran. And I'm like, no, it's not. You know what? This is from 9 hours ago. Steven Crowder. I'm actually interested to hear what he has to say right here.
The United States and Iran. Is it in our interest to prevent Iran from becoming some kind of a serious nuclear power? Well, you could go down the list, go to the largest sponsor, state sponsor of terrorism. Of course, there's that choke point next to the Strait of Hormuz. About a quarter of global oil and a fifth of natural gas go through there. 80% of Iranian oil goes to China. There have been alleged assassination attempts and plots on U.S. leaders, including President Trump. I would also say that, President Trump put himself on the hook for the protesters, saying that if you guys kill protesters, it's going to be bad for you, which is also why I think the timing right now, this has been poorly executed.
I will say when Trump said that, I did look at that as, I generally, whether it makes me an asshole or not, I generally just don't give a shit about what's going on in the rest of the world. I only care about America. That's just kind of my focus. However, if there are things going on in other parts of the world that can ultimately affect America, whether it's now or whether it's my kids' futures or my grandkids' futures or whatever, these things matter. Okay. So But when Trump himself said to the Iranian people to rise up and take your country back, and he warned Iran that if you slaughter these protesters, we're going to come after you. I remember saying to myself, like, man, that's a really dick move. If you don't do anything, that would be a pretty bad move. You know what I mean?
Something does happen, but it is super important, again, because I see black pillars out there going, this is a huge betrayal. That is not a valid argument. President Trump has been saying since at least 2011. Here's 2011. I believe this is a quote from President Trump, right?
Yes.
America's primary goal with Iran must be to destroy its nuclear ambitions. Let me put them as plainly as I know how. Iran's nuclear program must be stopped by any and all means necessary, period. We cannot allow this radical regime to acquire a nuclear weapon that they will either use or hand off to terrorists. Okay, so we go. Don't care about Israel and Iran. Does the United States have its own separate conflict with Iran? The answer is yes.
Crowder is usually almost always on point. I can't believe that I used to not like him. Still don't like his comedy, though, but Crowder's on point.
Children strapped with bombs jumping on Iraqi tanks. That is what you're dealing with in the upper echelon of Iran's leadership.
Yeah,
contrast that with
again. His Trump impersonation was Beardo level bad. Like it was fucking terrible. That's why I say, like, Crowder's takes are generally good. His comedy is horrifically cringe.
Fulfilling his promise to the Iranian people. It was just a few days ago, President Trump put a number on it. He said 32,000 Iranian protesters had been slaughtered. And it was an incredible number. We've been hearing from Senator Lindsey Graham and others, General Jack Keane talking about Iran being in its weakest.
Okay, I got a video from Nick Sortor, which I do trust. Holy crap, insane video coming out of U.S. Tomahawk missiles flying through Tehran. So, holy crap, look at this. All right, hang on. Woo! That's crazy. That's pretty crazy right there. All right, D-Day Cobra, isn't it 3 a.m. where you are? It's almost 4 a.m. where I am now. So, Jaeger Bomb says, we are hit. What? Are you kidding me? Jaeger Bomb, keep us posted, man. Holy shit.
And it has certainly been working on its ballistic missile program as well. Trey Yingst was telling us that there have been a couple of launches apparently directed toward Israel of ballistic missiles, but nothing more than that. And that is good news in terms of the ability.
Here's a decent little rundown. So rundown of the past couple of hours. Joint U.S.-Israeli operation Trump called for regime change. Opening waves of strikes have been characterized as assassination strikes. So there you have it right there. Officials have said this will be a multi-day campaign. So that's interesting right there. Multi-day campaign. Israel to focus on military targets, launchers, while U.S. Is to target decision makers, large surface combatants, hardened bunkers. 30 to 70 ballistic missiles fired from Iran into Israel. Air defense working at the time of writing. No confirmed deaths or casualties among principal or senior Iranian decision makers at the time of writing, but unconfirmed reports of death of senior military decision makers have trickled in. Reports from state media and Western media outlets citing sources close to the matter say that both the Iranian president and supreme leader remain alive and safe. These are just reports. Not sure if any of that's been confirmed or not, but that is the latest that we have at this point in time from this account right here. So,
commander at the time, General Joe Votel, aboard the USS New Orleans, ran through the Strait of Hormuz.
So Iran used all of its missiles already. Let's see. Rhino Helix says late night news source tax. Thank you. I appreciate it. Cheesy Terrian with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Can't find reliable vids of events in Iran as story unfolds. Yeah, that's the problem, is all the videos I'm seeing, if I'm not seeing it from a source that I just know straight up, then I just I'm not interested in sharing it. So U.S. military strikes have hit major sites in Iran, including the Parliament, Supreme Council, Ministry of Intelligence, Iranian Atomic Energy Agency. There have also been major cyber attacks on Iranian news agencies. And strikes are still happening. Thank you, Cheesy Terrian, for those 5 gifted memberships. Rob says almost 2 a.m. tax. I wish it was almost 2 a.m. I mean, I'm gonna be here for a little bit longer. I don't know how long I'm gonna hang on this, but I'll be live again tomorrow for sure. Or today, I guess, is the better way of saying it.
History unfolding for sure. And this is not a surprise that they would start out by attacking where Khamenei resides, because what the U.S. military would go after would be command and control, and that's the ultimate command and control. It's the ultimate message against the leadership that has been so intransigent against the United States and against the West in general. So as you see this develop over the days, I suspect you're going to see the continued destruction and degradation of their command and control, their air defense systems, which that command and control.
Jeremy is the new Iran news.
Be a big part of course. You don't have to hit all the launchers, but you can eliminate their ability to use them, as well as the targeting of their ballistic missile capabilities, any residual nuclear capabilities, and of course, as you mentioned before, the naval capabilities. So, regarding the timing too of the daytime versus the nighttime strike, this is not ultimately a surprise if it is a conditions-based attack based on seeing where Khamenei may have been. I don't know that, but it's possible. The other possibility is the fact that one of the most dangerous things you can do in military operations is establish predictable patterns that you can react to. And so if we had done the same thing all the time, Iran would have known better what we were doing. And to shift this to a daytime strike is just enough of a change that it probably threw them off a little bit, not only because it's daytime, but because it's Ramadan and numerous other factors as well. But I think it's important that we recognize the fact that the patterns piece of this can be important too. We want to always throw off the people that we're operating against and do something that is a little different than what we've done before.
I like how I see this this Mossad account on Twitter, and it says Mossad commentary, and it's giving this report about whoever this guy is, and it says in their description, it says, breaking news and commentary on Israel, one of the most active Israel-focused accounts on X. Subscribe for $5 a month to support this page. Oh, man.
For the Israeli people to take back their government. Griff Jenkins takes over from here. I'm John Scott, live in New York.
That launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why
I run my own prompter?
June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Griff Jenkins live in New York. The U.S. and Israel launching a major combat operation against Iran, with the first apparent strike happening near the offices of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. It's not immediately clear if the 86-year-old Khamenei was in his offices at the time of the strike. President Trump, as you just heard, speaking shortly after the strikes began, telling them the moment for freedom is now.
Get your feet in.
And we are also learning at this time, air sirens have been sounding in Israel overnight. So far, Israeli media reporting that most have been intercepted. We're waiting for confirmation. The Pentagon naming this operation Epic Fury as major operations. If you're just waking up, it's about
Cheesy Terry, and I did get
PM
it. I did
in
get
Iran, 4 a.m. here
Thank
in
you
New
for the
York
20.
on the East Coast. We're monitoring these major strikes. This coming after the administration, President Trump, Vice President Vance, saying that the negotiations fell short of expectations. Those negotiations and demands were that Iran would give up its nuclear ambitions, turn over its enrichment, and its ballistic missile program would stop. Let's check in right now with the very latest with our Fox News chief senior correspondent, Trey Yingst in Israel. Trey, good morning.
Yeah, Griff, good morning. We continue to follow developments out of the region after the United States and Israel launched airstrikes against the Iranian regime. We understand, according to President Trump, that this is what he describes as a massive and ongoing operation. The Iranians have started their response following these initial strikes that targeted a variety of locations in Iran. Alerts have gone out to phones. Sirens have sounded here in Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv, warning civilians to head into bomb shelters. This all started this morning as those strikes were unfolding. Here in Israel, sirens sounded across the country as alerts went out on phones, telling civilians that Israel's Home Front Command had entered into a special state of emergency. This was bracing for the fact that the Iranians were going to respond. And again, at this hour, the Iranians are trying to target major population centers, including Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and the northern city of Haifa. Millions of Israelis, as we speak, Griff, are in bomb shelters waiting until they receive further instructions from the Israeli military. This campaign is expected to last for several days, if not longer. Remember, it comes amid the backdrop of a massive U.S. military buildup that completed at the end of last week with the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, arriving in the eastern Mediterranean. You also have the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group in the Arabian Sea, a variety of U.S. destroyers, U.S. fighter jets in places like Jordan and in Israel that have participated in the staging part of this operation. We still will wait to get the details on exactly what weapons were used. Our team at the Pentagon, including Jennifer Griffin and Lucas Tomlinson, are tracking all of those developments. But again, the latest information from the region, the Iranians are responding with ballistic missile fire. There are also alerts, Griff, going off in Bahrain, in the Gulf, in Qatar, and other locations. Civilians there have been ordered to shelter in place, again, in preparation for what is expected to be a large Iranian response. Remember, President Trump gave the Iranians a diplomatic option. He sent negotiators, including U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner, to Oman and to Geneva, Switzerland as recently as this week. The Iranians were not willing to make the concessions needed as it related to their nuclear program in order to satisfy the requirements of the Americans. And ultimately, President Trump made this decision to protect American forces in the region, U.S. allies in the region, including Israel and others. Remember, it's not just the nuclear program that is of concern. It's Iran's expanding ballistic missile program that they are using at this hour, trying to target Israel. Israeli media says all of that incoming missile fire has been intercepted so far. But it's also Iran's support of regional proxies, including Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Iran-backed Iraqi and Syrian Shia militias, and of course the regime itself that, according to President Trump earlier this year, killed 32,000 of their own citizens as protests erupted across the country. Again, the latest information here from the Middle East.
32,000. So Cheesy Terry says, can you give me back my $20, please? $199. You said blackjack, no trade back. And that's the rule. Like, so I can't do that. But maybe I can send you a free t-shirt. How about that? All right. But no, seriously, 32,000 of their own citizens. Again, this is going to be a fun few days, and I don't say that. I say that with a lot of sarcasm. If you're just tuning in for the first time, if this is the first time that you have heard me, first of all, I apologize. There's much better YouTubers out there to cover this, so I apologize for you ending up here. But secondly, if you are here, I tend to use a lot of sarcasm when responding to things. That's just how I am. And I don't apologize for that at all. But I do appreciate everybody being here and hanging out. So we are following all of this right now. So we're looking at about 2.5 hours ago is when the United States and Israel in a joint attack attacked Iran. They are hitting specific targets right now. Information in terms of what has happened is very, very sparse in terms of what we know about people that may have been affected by this in terms of the leadership. We just don't know. There's not a lot of videos. There's a few videos here and there, but it's very difficult to determine what's legit and what's not. So we're just kind of in a waiting game right now from that perspective. President Trump did release an 8-minute video on his social media accounts, giving a lot of perspective on everything. So that's kind of where we are right now. But other than that, we just don't know a whole lot. All right, let's see. Let me catch up on a few of these because everybody's yelling at me. Durka for $1. Thank you. Flag Ninja says surgical strikes, yes. Prolonged boots on the ground, no. Let's see how this plays out. I agree. Zach says, damn it, I was watching Joe Rogan and missed out on the news. Cheesy Tarian says, oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't get this one. Cheesy Tarian, dummy doesn't know it's already Saturday. I didn't get that one. I thought it was the earlier one. So my apology. And then you sent another one, another 5. It says, I don't know. We did use the Cuban migraine at the war on Venezuela. Why not Iran? Let's make it quick. Did we get a Smash JT raid? Hail Smash JT. Look at there. Smash JT. Look at that. What's up, brother? Good to see you here, man. Zioni says the meltdown tomorrow is going to be insane. I'm going to be here to cover it. Beef Supreme 199 says you can't negotiate with amoral religious nut jobs. Is Rubio going to be the next Ayatollah now? Yes, he is. What's up, Smash JT? Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. White Hat says, don't forget, no more death to America in Iran parliament shouting. What up, Cole Hauser? I see you in the chat as well. Little Jim's Halo says affordability tax, Biden cause tax. Tiff says bomb shelter might be the only thing Buc-ee's doesn't sell yet. Dude, they just need to open. I'm telling you, somebody in the chat earlier said, how does this affect me? I'm an American. Well, it affects you because they're going to build a Buc-ee's and a McDonald's in Iran after we take out the Ayatollah. They're going to build a Buc-ee's. They're going to build McDonald's. And they're probably going to have Mario Kart tournaments. And that affects every American, okay? And I have it on good authority that when we take the Ayatollah down, they're going to fly a Dale Earnhardt flag just to let them know that America was here, baby. Fly that number 3 flag and let them know. That's what's up, all right? Chester says, serious question. Why is America gay? Because Democrats had power for way too long. That's why. Dude, I wish that I wish I knew Trump, because just not because like I'm a fan of Trump and all that. I don't care about that. I just wish I knew Trump so that I could convince him to fly a Dale Earnhardt flag in every country that we topple. I just fly an Earnhardt flag. That's all I want, Mr. President. Just every country that we topple, just fly a Dale Earnhardt flag. That's all I'm asking. Because there's nothing, the only thing more American than an Earnhardt flag is an American flag. That's the only thing. Fantastic. Mr. Knox says, Unites States. Jeremy is learning, I guess. I try. TVZ TQ says 199 Security Council in session. Leroy 45 says deal breaker. Elite Super Grunt. Thank you. Let's see. Flag Ninja says F-22s and F-35s don't F around. TVZ TQ. I don't know what you said there. Bubba Doom says this is because he had Whataburger earlier. He did have Whataburger earlier. He did. Rob says Ramadan Bombers Moon. Is Cheesitarian still here? I didn't get a refund for the one I was complaining. I'm so confused. Maybe it's because it's 4:00 in the morning and I'm running on empty right now. Or I could be giving you my Joe Biden impersonation right now, where I'm just clueless and don't know where I'm at. 1992 Space Movie says, I would stay up to figure out what the F is going on, but I've got trucking to do later. I'll listen back to this while driving per usual. Let's freaking go. Cheesitarian says, can I get a Welcome to Rebellion shirt? I got no bullshit. Yes. Yes, I have one I can send you. Email me your address. Boom. It's yours. All right. Deal. I'll send you 3. Joe Straight says, Breaking Guthrie season 5 twist. She was on Iran all along. Greg Kirby says, Iran deleted 33,000 like Hillary did. A little bit different. Nate says, there are terrorists in this country too, thanks to Biden. I just zeroed the laser sight on my AR. Stay strapped. Jay Hostin says, hey, Jeremy, might want to keep an eye on Tel Aviv feed missiles about to reach Beardo Fat. Yeah, I got a feed that I'm keeping an eye on. So let's see here. Metal Life says, to all the effing crybabies in the chat, this is exactly what peace through strength looks like. Screw YouTube for censorship. I agree. Doug Diggs says, wait, whoa, is this late night Cobra Cast or early morning Cobra Cast? Pick your poison. Flag Ninja says, God bless the U.S. Armed Forces. Agreed. Samurai says, hats off to you, Jay. Amazing job. You're a journalist, son. Don't ever call me a journalist. I would rather be insulted by saying you're gay than being called a journalist. Okay. That's yeah, it's more insulting to be called a journalist than being called gay. Patrick Bet David is from Tehran. He is. TVZTQ says, Jeremy has become what Don Lemon never could. Let's see. Jeremy is the new media. Well, if I'm the new media, we are all screwed. Gay journalist, that's you're just wasting space by saying gay. Just saying journalist is the same thing as, just say journalist because they're all gay anyway. Bill Herb says, Zack Snyder says, go F yourself to those that thinks his fans are toxic. Is he based or are the Snyder bros actually toxic? Well, they're not toxic. They're retarded, but they're not toxic. Flag Ninja says, Netflix Yahoo looks like a convenience store owner that I buy beer from. Aho3 says, Yahoo knows how to use pawns. Israel #1. Samwise says, do you think this will influence Ukraine peace talks? Russia can hardly get involved in Iran right now. I really think that Trump, that's not that I think. It's a fact that Trump completely miscalculated the Ukraine-Russia situation. He just really did. And it happens, but he said, I'll have that war ended in day 1. And I was like, yeah, So Black Ninja says, is Israel real? Cheesy Tyrion says, the story of the boy who cried wolf? The wolf showed up. Baba Doom says, Iran would have crumbled years ago, but for the money and support they got from Obama and Biden. T-Money is having to clean their mess. Black Ninja says, some super chat. Oh, yeah, I got that one earlier. Let's see. The Bella Stella says, Jeremy, I'm in Abu Dhabi. Attacks are going on in Bahrain and Qatar for now. We heard some bombing too but nothing official reported yet. Airspace has officially shut down in the UAE. Be safe. Holy crap. I did not realize you were that close to everything. So, but thank you for the support tonight, and be safe and keep us posted when you can. So Dimes Recon says, I retired too early. Could have gotten one more deployment in. Lol. Go get them, dudes. Thank you for the 20, and thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And shout out to all the truck driving working men out there. All right. Respect the truck driving working man. All right. The Bella Sella says, F that. Officially reported that explosion heard here in Abu Dhabi. All right. There we go. Noted. So Israel's got a nationwide, let me see.
So the F-22s, what's significant about that, Griff, is that this is the first time in history that the F-22s have been deployed and based in Israel. In the past, the U.S. military would not base warplanes to take off from Israel. But what we're seeing, because of the lack of runways and airspace and tarmacs, because they have drawn down.
Correct, Gung-Ho Mac, except for the illegal truck drivers. I'm not shouting them out. We aren't shouting out the illegal truck drivers, only the legal ones.
For those planes. But the F-22s being in Israel, along with those 14 air refueling tankers, that suggests to me that this is going to be happening over a number of days, if not longer, and there are going to be waves of strikes. And we have just seen the first launch. And I, as I was mentioning earlier, most likely the initial launch was carried out by
World War III. Stop with the World War III shit. More Americans died in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Get the hell out of here with this World War III shit.
in airspace to protect your forces and your planes while you see what the Iranian missile defense and air defense systems, which ones have survived, how many have survived, and you'll know that pretty soon after this.
Cheesy Tarian, Jeremy at geeksandgamers.com. Jeremy at geeksandgamers.com.
Sort of the last we heard of negotiations, the foreign minister to Oman, Badr al-Busaidi, did an interview with CBS's Margaret Brennan saying that peace was still within reach and saying that Iran was possibly willing to give up their enrichment program. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the problem is we didn't hear that from the Iranian leadership themselves. We didn't hear it from the Iranian negotiator.
Can Fox get a different woman? Because she is just annoying as hell, man. She really is. Okay, right here. Reports of massive explosions in Bahrain's area, which houses U.S. Navy base. Alarms are sounding and people are being ordered to seek shelter.
Shelter in place. Missile threat warning. Target shelter immediately. Shelter in place. Missile threat warning. Target shelter immediately.
So there you have it right there. Let's see. I haven't looked at Twitter in a few minutes. So Rooster says, Jeremy, thank you for your true journalism. Don't insult me like that. Okay. Looking to see what else we got. Yeah, like of all the things my chat says to me, calling me a journalist is probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been. I do not like being called a journalist. Pretty soon though. Pretty soon. This will be Iran right here. Get ready. This will be Iran in a very short time. Trump rocking the Vipers. Dude, seriously, I need Trump to wear Vipers just one time. I need Trump to wear Vipers, okay? Like I just need it once. Just give that to us, Trump, okay? But this will be your future right here, Iran. All right? That's all you need, man. There it is.
That was part of this.
It's so good. A journalist is a slur at this point. This is true. Let me see. Sean Carter says, Jeremy, don't feel weird about being on TV. Lots of guys that put you on to pregame for those special DVDs. That is a horrible thing to say. VJ the Vigilant says, remember Trump took out ISIS in his first term. That is correct. Too Tired says, told my hubby a couple days ago this was coming. All the training on base just stopped. They must have been deploying and preparing for multiple outcomes. I just hope all of our soldiers are going to be safe. That's the main priority right now. Draken199 says, I know you're not a journalist, but sadly you're more reliable than the so-called real ones. I appreciate that.
An Israeli missile defense system interceptor, likely the Arrow system that just fired off in order to intercept the incoming fire. This gives you a sense of just how much this is moving here, Griff. We know that Israel's ability to shoot down incoming missiles is quite extensive. And so far, the Iranians have been firing these in very small barrages. And so it has not overwhelmed any of the missile defense systems. And I'm just looking at this incoming alert from Iran's foreign ministry. We are just getting, I want to give you this in real time, Griff. Iran's foreign ministry just said this renewed military aggression comes while Iran and the U.S. were in the midst of a diplomatic process. But as President Trump has indicated, the Iranians were not willing to make the concessions that the Americans needed them to make, specifically as it relates to Iran's nuclear program. And that was part of the decision making and why these U.S. and Israeli strikes were ordered against the Iranian regime. And again, Griff, at this hour, the Iranians are responding not just against Israel, but against, it appears, U.S. forces in the Persian Gulf. And at this hour, again, missile defense systems are able to intercept much of the incoming fire. There are no reports of impacts in Israel, but explosions not only heard here in Tel Aviv, also in the northern city of Haifa, in the southern city of Beersheba, in the Negev desert. So really all across this country, there are millions of Israelis right now, Griff, that are in bomb shelters. They are bracing with the understanding that this campaign against Iran could last for several days. And they understand the impact of this. They went through a 12-day war with Iran last summer. They saw more than 24 people killed here, but they also watched, and they watched how the Iranians were unwilling to give up their entire missile program and also their entire nuclear program, these red lines for the Trump administration, for the Israelis. And again, President Trump offered Iran an off-ramp. It's very important here because we saw these negotiations and ultimately they did not take it at the level it.
Yeah, and that's what's going to get lost in all of this from all the black pillars out there. And they say Trump is taking us to war. And it's like he offered a path to peace. He offered an off-ramp. He continuously warned them and warned them and warned them. And they don't take him up on it. What is he supposed to do, you fucking retards? On top of that, look at this. John Fetterman says, Operation Epic Fury. President Trump has been willing to do what's right and necessary to produce real peace in the region. God bless the United States, our great military, and Israel. Can you believe John Fetterman? Again, the only Democrat that's willing to say this about President Trump right there. That's insane.
And I think this is something that we knew was coming. The Iranians, as we just heard, there was a diplomatic process going on, but that's not what President Trump was doing. He wasn't engaged in a process. He was engaged in a very short negotiation. It was a surrender document to the Iranians, and they miscalculated, and now this is the result of it. You know, I think this is going to, I think President Trump was spot on in letting the American people know that there can be casualties. I think not just we're already seeing attacks against U.S. assets in the region, but this.
All right, let's see here. East Coast Toast Boy says the kids finally gotta intercept some tangos and get meat in his diet. Shout out to the HLC fans in the chat. Fun with collecting says Nightcrawler tax. That's pretty much where I'm at now. Pre-Dawn Corp says Jeremy Smash JT has GF and OJ emojis on his gaming channel, and it spam announces them out. It's amazing. You skipped my Rumble rant earlier too. I haven't gotten no to Rumble rants yet, but I will. Pre-dawn corpse. Let's see here. SCDB says, I woke up to take a leak and now I'm awake watching Cobra Cast. Crazy night. Solo Felix says, George Bush Sr. said the same thing to the Iraqis in the first Gulf War, told the Iraqis to rise up, overthrow Saddam, then watch them get slaughtered. Mellow Fungus says, I don't get the black pillars. Trump attacked Iran, so everyone should give the midterms to the open borders. Trans extremist fraud Dems. What? It's not about like, it's because it's getting them as much traction online as they can get, so that's why they run with it. Hey, more power to them. In a free and open internet, everybody should be allowed to say whatever they want and build whatever narratives they want, and it is what it is. I don't think anybody should be silenced. I want everybody to have a voice, but I also feel that if you know, it's okay to call retarded people retarded. So, let's see here. Jaegerbomb says, oh, we are hit. That was earlier. I got that one. Keep us posted. Cheesy Tyrion says, I wish I had Jeremy's luck. That's wild. Net Steeler says, for reporting classes at local community college. Mellophone says, is it being hypocritical to still support Trump despite running on being anti-war but attacking Iran? Not a TDS question, genuinely asking. Well, again, there is a ton of nuance by saying you're anti-war. All right. When you say you're anti-war, it's because nobody is looking to get into war. The attempt to stay out of war was there for Trump. We still have a fucking military. We still have a powerful military with billions and billions of dollars in budget for a reason, because nobody's going to fuck with us. From that perspective, nobody's going to attack us from that perspective. Trump has rebuilt the military, and we have a massive military budget. The military's there for various amount of reasons. But so this anti-war thing is like, yeah, nobody, like George W. Bush was a warmonger. That entire administration was a warmonger administration. And Trump has already proven to be so much different than every other president through his 2 terms in office. Now this is his 2nd term. He's already proven to be vastly different than any of them. But there's a lot more detail than this, than just like, hey, we're going to go over there and we're going to be in a 2-year-long war, and we're going to, you know, nation build a place that clearly can't be rebuilt. Iraq was never going to be. Iraq actually was better before we toppled Saddam. Iraq was better then because they did have somebody that kept them in line. You're not going to clean that shit up. Those motherfuckers are crazy. But this is a whole different ballgame. You actually have the people rising up against the leadership. So it's just a whole different ballgame. But no, I know it's not a TDS question. I respect where you're coming from. Rooster says, one more question, Jeremy. If we're going to open McDonald's in Iran, are they allowed to buy hamburger in the morning? If you're just tuning in, about 2.5 hours ago, strikes began, or at least reportedly began, in Iran. U.S. and Israel joint attacks. Right now, these are airstrikes. Details are very, very sparse. We don't have a lot of information on what has actually happened. We've got an 8-minute video from President Trump. And they're replaying it right now. We can probably listen into this.
Shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
President Trump a short time ago announcing major combat operations have begun in Iran. Let's bring in Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson live for us in Florida.
So right here, Iran hits the U.S. Fifth Fleet Naval Headquarters in Bahrain. So we have no reports of injuries or anything like that, but this just happened right here. Just happened. So, so now that's not going to be a good move for Iran. That's going to be very, very bad for them. Yeah. Now, Owen Schroyer has uploaded a video. He's very, very mad about this. These warmongers bring shame on our entire world.
DAM, February 28th, 2026. And Israel has just bombed Iran.
He's very mad.
Midday in Iran on a Saturday, people going about their lives in the capital city, and Israel has just bombed them. Keep in mind, just yesterday, Israel bombed Lebanon, part of 7 countries that Israel has been bombing in the last.
People are just going about their day, guys. They were just hanging out. They were just going about their day. What? Get the fuck out of here, dude. I can't listen to it. I can't do it.
Watching the deployment.
They were just going about their day, guys. There was just a sunshine, rainbows, birds were chirping. It was just a wonderful moment. What? Good God.
By missile standards coming from what appears to be the USS Gerald R. Ford strike group. A lot of people thought this was a defensive move, putting Ford so close to Israel. It is in part. Ford's destroyer escorts do have ballistic missile defense capability, but there's also an offensive punch. You can launch strikes from Ford using Tomahawk cruise missiles, and that does appear to be part of the first wave targeting Iran. You can also launch jets from Ford. In fact, if you look at a map, Griff, I don't know if the control room can put one up, the Ford carrier strike group is actually closer to Tehran than the USS Abraham Lincoln strike group in the Arabian Sea. We are seeing Iran firing back. There are reports and some videos which have not been verified showing the Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. That's where traditionally the U.S. Air Force has kept its fast move.
Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see if we got any more updates right now of anything. So Iran is simultaneously targeting U.S. military assets across the Middle East with ballistic missiles fired. So right there. Again, I hate that this is happening because I don't like it. This is not something I'm a fan of on the surface. But again, there is a lot more detail that most of these people are not interested in talking about. I just hate that we're going to have any soldiers that could be in harm's way. That's what I'm worried about more than anything. That's the primary focus I have right now. Is Hayden Wayne here? What up, Hayden? Yep, Hayden. We are at war with Iran. Yep. It just popped off about 3 hours ago. Luis says, I wake up to the witching hour to take a beardo, and I guess what the grifter is grifting. Praise Allah. Let's see here. Trying to catch up. I still got more. Cheesy Terry says, to be frank, I think we should liberate Canada and Australia before going to war with Iran. F off UK. That should be the new penal colony. Marlon Sebo says D-Day Cobra is the new Iranian Minister of Information since the old one is smoldering right now. Williams says Iran just hit our naval base in Bahrain. Yep, that's what I was just talking about. Grumpy Gen Xer for 5. Thank you. Teresa says, I was 17 in 1979. They kept our students for more than a year. This shouldn't have been done before now. No president even thought of doing this. MAGA. Trump is the GOAT. Bill says, Jeremy is a true journalist, just like Don Lemon. Flag Ninja says, Jeremy, you're my favorite journalist. Take that however you will. Steel Town says, journalist Jeremy is what I always call you. Will there be a ground invasion? I can't imagine there's going to be a ground invasion personally. I can't see that, but I mean, hell if I know. Look at me. I'm just an idiot on the internet. Cole Heller says, remember, you have a Riga free card. Had to say that very slowly, Cole Hauser. And then Cole Heller says, what's up, Jeremy? Just woke up to your notification. Hope you're well, bro. Praise Ara. Kremlin says, Jeremy is the T1000 of journalists. Great work. Fired Up Gaming says, I would give up every dime of my retirement to go there right now if they let me. Really Old Movie says, I trust Trump, but I'm worried that this won't end quickly. Ryan N.E. says, I hope everything goes well for the Iranian people. They've been under a horrible regime for a long time. Folsom Lockdown says, what is your favorite decade of UFC? If you're not a fan, then what's your favorite decade of news? Because you're killing the 2020s. Yeah, I'm not a UFC guy. I mean, I've watched some UFC, but primarily the UFC is something I focused on when Brock Lesnar was there. I've watched the Conor McGregor stuff. It was a bunch of normie shit is my UFC experience. So PCSAG Lion says, when peace through strength is tested, it must be answered. Thank the Dems for this one, for supporting those who say death to America. Luis B. Me Up says, someone just cut me off on my Ligma joke. What the F? What's crazy is, oh yeah, okay. Retro V Gamer says, could you give those of us waking up a quick recap of events? Yes, I can. So this happened about 3 hours ago right now. 3 hours ago, we initially got reports that that Israel had attacked Iran. And trying to pull this page up right here so I can give you another breakdown of it. So we got these reports that Israel had attacked Iran. Then we got reports that the United States actually had a joint attack with Israel on Iran. That happened about 3 hours ago. Then we got a 8-minute video from President Trump detailing everything. And as of a few hours ago, this is what we knew. Joint U.S.-Israeli operation to attack Iran. Trump called for regime change. We had opening waves of strikes have been characterized as assassination strikes. Officials have said this will be a multi-day campaign. Israel to focus on military target launchers. U.S. will focus on decision makers, large surface combatants, hardened bunkers. 30 to 70 ballistic missiles fired from Iran into Israel. Air defense working at the time of writing. No confirmed deaths or casualties among principal or senior Iranian decision makers at the time of this writing. Now, this was done, what, about an hour ago? As this post was about an hour ago. Reports from state media and Western media outlets citing sources close to the matter say that both the Iranian president and the supreme leader, which is the Ayatollah, remain alive and safe. That's kind of the gist of it as far as where we are. Cheesytarian says, I sent you an email if you're serious about the shirts. Absolutely, I'm serious about the shirts. Since when can Jeremy read? Don't tell anyone, all right? Please don't tell anyone. I don't want anyone to know about that. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the rundown. In terms of details are very, very tough to get right now. And so I'm trying to focus on sources that I follow that I am, aware that are legit. Qatar intercepts several missiles and urges all civilians to stay home. That is just in. And this is coming off of this announcement right here that Iran simultaneously targets U.S. military assets across the Middle East with ballistic missiles fired at UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. So we are in the middle of craziness, and there's a ton of videos being shared on social media right now, regurgitated. I don't know. I'm fucking tired. Rehashed. That's the word I'm looking for. Rehashed videos from years and years ago. There's AI videos that are being shared out there. So I'm not believing almost any of the videos that I'm seeing shared on social media right now. I've showed you a couple of them, and it's obvious that these are old videos or they're AI videos. So I'm only sharing videos that I'm seeing. Okay, now this, oh shit. Okay, this is probably legit. I think this is legit. Oh shit. If this is Iranian missile slammed into the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. If that's real, holy fuck balls. Okay. I got to find out if that's a real video. That is a real video. That is real. That's legit. Whoa. Holy shit. Yep. Video shows Iranian missile directly impacting the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. It is unknown how many U.S. service members were present at the base at the time. You better fucking hope that nobody was there. So there you have it. That's crazy. Let me see if Fox News is reporting on that right now. Let's see what they say.
And after hearing from Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv, it's obvious Iran is responding, but the reports right now, no casualties in Israel, but it is pretty clear that Iran is likely to throw everything they've got in these early hours and the days to come. I do want to bring in an element here, John, and that is our chief national security correspondent, Jennifer Griffin, reporting per a U.S. official. She says that Israel is targeting Iranian leadership. The U.S. is targeting military targets and ballistic missile sites that pose an imminent threat. The U.S. military is not targeting Iran's leadership. What do you think it's significant and important that it is Israel targeting Iran's leadership and the U.S. officials saying they are just attacking the imminent threats working with Israel?
Well, I think that can be written up to a division of labor.
Yeah, Fox is like, this is why cable news is just dying. Because they don't know what the hell's going on, man. They are so far behind. So that's that we've got multiple videos of that U.S. base that was hit. We've got multiple videos of that now. Is this another one? Just another angle? I don't know if that's real or not. Let's see here. Cable news crawled so Jeremy could run. Okay. That's nothing so far. It's so difficult to tell which one of these videos are real and which ones are not. Because right now I'm on my For You tab on Twitter. And for people that don't know, like the For You tab is the tab that kind of just gives you stuff that they think you'd be interested in from all types of crazy things. But that's where I'm getting the best information from. But I'm getting a lot of fake shit over there too. AI is everywhere right now. Impossible now due to AI. Yes, it is very difficult with AI. And these are the moments right here. And again, welcome to the internet, but this is what happens. This is a huge mega viral story. And so people are going to create anything they can to get a bunch of traction because, you know, so many people fall for it. Facebook is the best place to go for that, by the way, because all these old people on Facebook just believe whatever. Like you could literally just put a fucking dinosaur in a video walking through Iran, and these idiots on Facebook, these old people will just share it thinking it's real. They're like, oh my God, they've released dinosaurs in Iran. This is crazy. And you're like, you tell your grandmother, you're like, Grandmom, there's no dinosaurs in Iran. I know you saw a video on Facebook, but that's not real. But it happens all the time. So Facebook is terrible. I hate Facebook. Samurai says, so trade Fetterman for Massey? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Fetterman, but we'll see how this goes. Facebook is AIDS. Facebook is so bad. Teresa says October 7th, people were also just going about their day. I bet Owen doesn't remember that day. Yeah, I mean, the way he was trying to formulate that was ridiculous. Bohica says, not going to say it where I live. However, a few nights ago, F-35s were taking off midnight, not usual for a United States Air Force base. Yeah, I mean, this has all been planned for a while, obviously. Bob says that we will bring freedom and liberty to the people crying out for it. Please don't lose hope. We are trying to bring freedom to true Iranians. Dabi says, aloha and blessings, everyone. So what are y'all telling Jesus when we meet him after World War III? Stay safe and keep praying, y'all. It's definitely not World War III, but it's definitely going to be a huge, huge story over the next few days. But let's see. Okay, so I guess the moment, yeah. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Watch closely, okay? Holy shit, man. That was crazy to see that. Let's slow-mo that. Let's slow-mo this. Playback speed. All right, here we go. Wow. That is crazy. Let's put it back to regular. That is terrifying. Yeah, no, that's I'm pretty sure that's real. Pretty sure.
People are asleep, a fairly typical tactic, but to change that pattern up to attack during the daytime gives a level of surprise that I can guarantee the Iranians weren't expecting. And especially during Ramadan, that can be very effective as well. So we've got a few days to see how this goes. I'm watching very closely to see.
Yeah, here's this will be a little bit closer shot. Let the video complete. And we'll show it one more time. Boom, there it is. Let's slow-mo it on the so. That is wild. Yep. There it is. Let's see. Holy crap. Hang on. Well, let me find this. Give me just a second. Okay. And right here, Guys, Israel owns you. Don't you see it? Your soldiers will die in someone else's war. I am so glad that you told me this. You are the first person on the internet that has ever mentioned this to me. I mean, as a matter of fact, like, I don't think you might be the first person that's ever said that on the internet.
I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me that for the first time.
You are telling me that for the first time, sir. That's an amazing insight that you have. You are the most original person on the internet. You don't repeat what other people say at all. You are a very, very original person. I tip my hat to you, sir. Great job, man. You don't repeat anything. You just have original opinions. So I congratulations. Yeah, man. But thank you. Really appreciate that. All right. So what? You're good with it or just going to mock? I'm just going to mock. Like, I don't know if you're new to the channel, but I'm just going to roast the living fuck out of people like you because it's hilarious. So no, that's exactly what I'm going to do is mock you and laugh at you and roast you. And watch you continue to get very upset about it. That's literally what I do on this channel every fucking day. So yeah, I'm going to continue to do just that. And there's nothing you can do about it except cry. So no, I don't care. But let me see here. Wait. What is this? Operation Epic Fury.
New from Freedom Force Toys, it's the Iran regime change playset. Fly real stealth bombers, drop carpet bombs, and blast the dictator's palace. Fire the tactical nuke for maximum effect. Boom! Mission complete. Comes with palace, vehicles, soldiers, and supreme leader figure. Batteries not included. New from Freedom
Holy shit.
Force Toys, it's the Iran regime change playset. Fly real stealth bombers, drop carpet bombs, and blast the dictator's palace. Fire the tactical nuke for maximum effect. Boom! Mission complete. Comes with palace, vehicles, soldiers, and supreme leader figure. Batteries.
Whoo! That's what my For You feed is telling me right now. Let me see. Jeremiah Grigsenstein got his $7,000 check. Yeah, didn't you? I showed you guys that the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I could show you again. But right here. Here it is. See? I got paid. Mossad. Yeah, like we've been through this. Like, so not a problem really. So we've already been through this one. So yeah. Shout out to my Mossad peeps. All those $7,000 checks that are getting paid tonight. They're going to be getting paid tonight. Running interference and all.
Iranian Parliament, the National Supreme Council, the Ministry of Intelligence, the Iranian Atomic Agency, as well as the IRNA, the news service there. What do you make of the targeting?
So far, not surprised. And the reason why that is you're going to make sure that you take out command and control first, because when you've got poorly led militaries in nations like Iran that need a lot of overhead leadership, if you take out that leadership, most of them are not going to know what to do or how to respond. And so command and control comes down to not only the systems, radars, cyber, all of that. It's the people that can direct people.
I will tell, because I know we have a lot of people that are watching the channel for the first time. So the whole like Israel meme kind of started because these losers were coming in my chat. And I don't know shit about Israel. I don't give a damn about Israel. And they were like coming in here and they're like, oh, you support Israel. I'm like, I don't support Israel. I don't give a shit about Israel. But then like they kept accusing me of being a Mossad agent because I didn't say the thing that they wanted me to say. And I realized how retarded the anti-Israel crowd is at that point. And I'm like, holy shit, you guys are stupid. Like, you'll just accuse anybody of being a Mossad agent. So then it's just kind of spiral from there, man. So anyway, that's obvious you don't know shit about Israel. Well, I know. And I know that you are the biggest Israel fan in my chat. You love Israel. And again, just like the anti-Israel people like this guy that love Israel are just as bad as the anti-Israel crowd, because this guy can't stop telling you how great Israel is. And he's just as bad as the anti-Israel people. Like this guy, every stream, he's just like, Israel's the greatest place on earth, Jeremy. You don't understand. And I'm like, you know, like I'm not following. So just like the pro-Israel crowd, the anti-Israel crowd, they're both annoying as fuck. But here is Trump, who's apparently controlled by Israel as well.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Griff Jenkins, live in New York. As you heard the president there a short time ago announcing the U.S. and Israel launching an attack against Iran, with the first apparent strike happening near the offices of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. It's not immediately clear if the 86-year-old Khamenei was in his offices at the time of the strike. President Trump adding that the strikes began, telling the people of Iran that the moment for freedom is now.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days.
And at this hour, Iran retaliating, targeting several U.S. bases around the Middle East, including in Bahrain, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. Air sirens also sounding in Israel overnight. Let's bring in Fox News Chief Senior Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst. Good morning,
He's
Trey.
been doing a great job of his coverage. So if you're just tuning in, he's going to give you some good updates.
The Middle East, Israel remains under Iranian ballistic missile attack at this hour. Alerts are coming in across the country. Earlier, sirens were sounding here in Tel Aviv. And we understand, according to the military, most of this incoming fire was intercepted by Israel's air defense systems. The Americans and the Israelis are still striking Iran in a campaign that is expected to last for several days, targeting not just ballistic missile launching positions or command and control centers, but reports indicate government buildings and significant government infrastructure belonging to the Iranian regime. One person on our team just got out of a briefing with the Israeli military, and I'm going to give you the latest information as we're getting it in just now, Griff. The Israelis plan to call up 70,000 reservists over the next several days, understanding that this conflict with Iran is expected to last for many days. Many of these reservists will be manning air defense systems as this incoming ballistic missile fire is expected to continue from Iran and could expand to regional proxies like Hezbollah in southern Lebanon or the Houthis in Yemen. According to a military official here in Israel, dozens of strikes were carried out this morning alone. Forces are now deployed across Israel to man those air defense systems. And coordination and cooperation, according to this military official, is something that's never been seen before, operating at the highest level with American counterparts. Reports are coming in from wire services that many IRGC commanders and political officials were targeted in these strikes. Again, these are initial reports, but it gives you an indication that this is not a limited operation going after the Iranians. This is certainly one of the larger options that the Americans and the Israelis had to go after the Iranian regime. In the days ahead, we can expect Iran to continue responding. They are already targeting U.S. forces in places like Bahrain. Air defense systems are active in the Gulf. Reports of possible strikes even in countries other than Bahrain, like Saudi Arabia, for example. And so there's going to be a lot of moving parts here. Our Pentagon team is tracking what the Americans are doing to stage in the days ahead and how this campaign is going to continue. But we heard overnight from President Trump himself, who said this is a massive and ongoing operation. President Trump gave the Iranians an olive branch, an opportunity for diplomacy to get rid of their nuclear program, to limit their ballistic missile program, and to end support of regional proxies. They refused to do so.
You've asked this question so many times tonight that even, and just as a streamer, what a lot of streamers do is they like to Google shit, that they don't know. You have spammed this all fucking night, all right, to the point where even if I didn't know, I could have Googled it. I'll just tell you that I'm more concerned with the Hart Foundation back in the day with WWE, okay? That's my concern, is the Hart Foundation. Bret the Hitman Hart is one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time. And I believe that the formation of the Hart Foundation was a crucial point in the WWF back in the 80s and into the 90s. And if we did not lose Owen Hart, we don't know what could have happened. But Jim the Anvil, Bret the Hitman Hart, you had the British Bulldog. That's the Hart Foundation that I'm worried about. Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to give you an answer just because you've been so annoying, because that's the most entertaining outcome, is just to aggravate you. So there you have it. Hayden Wayne says the U.S. could do something really cool right now. Reveal to the world some crazy new war tech that we have and haven't shown yet. Turn big stick into rod of God or something. Just pow, boom, done. It would be pretty awesome. Jeremy, he's still spamming a lot. Mods will take care of if he keeps spamming. What he's essentially confirmed is that he wanted his question asked, so he wanted to ask the question so much, but he couldn't afford a $5 super chat. So, let me see. The Bella Stella says, reported in Abu Dhabi, debris from the anti-missiles fell in a residential area. One Asian foreigner deceased. Thank you for the update. I can't believe how close you are to all of that. That is absolutely insane. Hayden Wayne says, time to start dropping the flyers. Hello, Iranian citizens. We are giving you 2 weeks to GTFO. We know it will be hard, but we know the general location of your leader, and that area will be glassed 100%. Brett screwed Brett, according to the GOAT, Vince McMahon. He kind of did, to be honest. Bret Hart really did. I'll turn this whole conversation to a Bret the Hitman Hart conversation just to piss that guy off. Odin says, I don't recall Iran ever attacking North America. Prove me wrong. I don't recall Iran paying someone who attacked us in America's soil. Please remind me. I think that's a very narrow-minded viewpoint of what's going on. But, I guess I would need to understand, like, what's your motivation behind all of this? When do you support, like, why do you support paying taxes to fund our fucking military? I don't understand it. Like, if you don't want a fucking military, then you're living in the wrong country. So, like, what do you think we're paying for? Do you think our military is just there to do parades and shit? Like, I don't understand what you want a strong military for. Just so you can pretend that you support it? Like, I don't understand people like this. Like, oh yeah, I like sleeping at night, and I like being in a country where I feel protected. But why are we funding this damn military? Why do we have all this training? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Red Walker says the super anti or pro-Israel are extremely obnoxious, but I think for me, it's somewhere in the middle. Having a military ally, Israel is the most America hating hostile region on the planet is logical. Yeah, I mean, for me, I only look at, like, my experience with the anti-Israel crowd was when I realized that they were so dumb that they were accusing someone as retarded as me as being an Israel shill, I realized how retarded they are. Because you have to be completely insane to accuse me, a very low IQ individual, when it comes to that region of the world. So if that was they are willing to accuse anybody of being an Israel shill if you're willing to accuse me. And at that point, I'm like, holy shit, you guys are completely retarded. Yeah. But I think they're both annoying for sure. Odin says, a mere observation, no more. Well, again, I just don't understand like being frustrated with this when it's not like Trump hasn't been talking about this for months and months and months. He actually campaigned on Iran, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right about that? I'm almost certain Trump campaigned on Iran. Correct me if I'm wrong about this. I follow so much shit, so maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm almost certain that Trump campaigned on Iran not getting a nuclear weapon. It was part of his fucking campaign. Now I'm remembering, yes. Okay, yes, he did. Correct. So I don't know what you're shocked about. This is part of his fucking campaign. The same campaign where he won every swing state. The same campaign where he won the popular vote. What are you shocked about? I don't understand it. And the same people that are upset about this are saying that he campaigned on Epstein, which he did not campaign on Epstein. He answered questions when asked, but Epstein was never part of the Trump agenda. It was never part of his Trump campaign. Iran not having a nuclear weapon was part of his campaign. So Dubai just got hit. Let me see all right, I'm getting too caught up on arguing with people right now. Hang on. As Razorfist points out, Trump has been consistent since before 2016 about keeping nukes out of the hands of Iran. Yes. Funny enough, I just watched again. I watched Oppenheimer again. And dude, like watching the end of that movie with the fact that what we're dealing with today is crazy, man. I love the movie. The movie's phenomenal. The whole movie is great. But that ending scene where he's talking to Einstein is crazy. Crazy. All right, we got that close up of that video. Loud explosions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, reports said. Is this? Don't know. Oh, I think this is the video that somebody was telling me about. Iranian high school students are thanking President Trump for striking the radical regime in Iran. Hang on. But Owen Schroer is very upset about this, while the Iranian people are very happy about this. That's interesting. DA Cobra, I'm just concerned that Saudi Arabia never gets nukes either. They are happy because they have a future now. Let's see. Good Lord, everyone has a TikTok. It's true. Israeli military is targeting Iran's leadership, sources say from the Wall Street Journal. I do think that let's see. Hayden Wade says, YouTube deleted my last super chat. Laughing my ass off. Content has been deleted. Really? Wow. Let me go and look for the fan funding and see. I didn't delete it for me. So Hayden Wayne says, time to start dropping. Oh, I got that. The flyers. It didn't delete it for me. So Odin says he also campaigned on no more world police. I mean, but again, if again, it's all about the details. If you are to believe that, do you think that Trump is lying? Do you think the Trump administration is lying about the nuclear bomb? Do you think that? Because if you do, then we just have a fundamental, like we're on complete opposite sides. So like Iran having a nuclear weapon, stopping that from happening is America first. Like I don't know how to tell you any different than that. So either you believe him or if you don't. If you believe that he's lying about that, then I think that the Democratic Party is right up your alley. So, I mean, I guess I'd need to understand where you're coming from, because if you think that Trump is lying, and I guess the theory would be that Trump is lying because he's controlled by Israel. And if you're at that level, then I don't think having a rational conversation is worth having. But if you are just genuinely like trying to understand it, then that makes a lot more sense. Iran is months from a nuke for 30 years now. Yes, that is a very good point that a ton of anti-Israel people love to repeat. So I know where you're getting your information now. So that is a strong talking point from the anti-Israel crowd that they love to repeat. Trust me, I know, because they have about 5 things that they repeat over and over and over and over again. They are like a broken record with that shit. And they are mad at me right now.
The bombing ends, which, as we've reported, is not going to be hours, but it's going to be days, that he called on them to rise up and basically take back and seize their government and throw off the mantle of this oppressive leadership that has basically controlled with an iron fist the regime since 1979. So it's clear that the president took the broadest range of options.
Is a troll with money better than a troll without money? Well, to be fair, Odin's been following my channel forever. Odin, the German Shepherd, he's been following like forever. So he's a cool dude. So we probably have a disagreement, but he's not like one of these idiots that just claim like some retarded thing. He's genuinely coming from it from a good place. So,
Report on one other target that or 2 other that we've learned about in the recent hours. It appears that an Iranian naval headquarters down in Bandar Abbas and on
not
Island,
Odin, the religious
those
movie
were
guy.
among the targets, and we have been mentioning how important it was for the U.S. military to target Iran's Navy from the get-go. That's something that did not happen last June, and that Navy is what can disrupt the flow of oil and shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, which is just 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. And those Navy vessels can also, the fast boats that Lucas Tomlinson was describing that swarm U.S. vessels in the region and cause untold, potential damage to those ships. And they had to be taken out because they could threaten some of those destroyers that are based in the Northern Arabian Sea. We also understand that there have been some explosions in eastern Iran near the Pakistani border. That is significant because we've heard the president talk about.
Look at there, Trump from 2020. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Man, nobody had a problem with it back then.
Eastern Iran. Griff.
Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin. Jennifer, great reporting. Thank you for that. We will check back in with you throughout the morning. Joining us now, retired Navy SEAL Mike Sorelli. Good morning, Mike. As the nation wakes up to a major combat operation with strikes across Iran happening in a joint U.S.-Israeli operation, what are your thoughts? All right, we'll work to get retired Navy SEAL Mike Sorelli on the phone there. As you do that, and you're waking up right now, major combat operations have begun with multiple targets struck across Iran. We have coming across the Middle East, and we are watching. This is the map here, the naval assets in the Middle East, significantly with the USS Gerald Ford in the Eastern Mediterranean, the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea.
Somebody in the chat says, remembering how low IQ you are, Jeremy, keeps me from getting mad at you. You're watching me at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. That's the definition of low IQ if you don't like me. So thank you.
States who are probably on edge for the safety of their people, but quite interesting what's going on right now. Let me give you a description of what I think is going on. primary and upfront, we want to establish air and sea dominance. It's interesting that Israel and what we're being told is striking the political leadership or military leadership. The U.S. is most likely focused, again, with the air dominance of something conducting what we call SEAD and DAD, which is the suppression and destruction of enemy air defenses. So we're most likely focused on taking out radars, surface-to-air missile sites, command links. We basically want to blind them. We want to deafen them. And this is opening up the corridors for future strikes. So the counter-missile campaign is going to be a focus. We're going to be hunting their launchers, their depots, and their production and support nodes. Naturally, as per President Trump's address, the nuclear sites are a focus, but you want to focus on anything that can be a direct threat to our bombers or fighters as they come in. If you look at this as a phase, we're opening the airspace and we're probably blunting Iran's missile capability. But what a huge concern here is.
A huge concern. Okay, some of these videos, let's see that. Okay. You know who's really happy right now? Lindsey Graham. You know Lindsey Graham's having a good night. Boy, Lindsey Graham, he's going crazy right now. The worst person in this entire situation, Lindsey Graham, and you know he's having a good night tonight. Nobody's happier than Lindsey Graham. He's happier than anybody in Iran. 1,000%. He and his boyfriend are happy. Cheesy Terry says, wait, can we release dinosaurs in Iran? It would be cool. Damn right it would be. Jurassic Middle East, probably with Humvee and Jeeps. Radio Chimp says, Mossad tax, thank you. Aaron Alexander says, Jeremiah Grigsenstein got his $7,000 check. Jaegerbomb says, been stuck multiple times, still alive. Wish us luck. We're going to need it. Bahrain still stands. Damn, that's crazy. Bohica with 5 gifted memberships. And Bohica just said, Khalil, no. Khalil, no. Hayden Wayne says, reminder, Iran has killed hundreds of their own people and turned off the internet multiple times. The regime must go. Jeremy, you should react to Asman's. My Iranian viewer sent me this video. Is it like on Asman clips? If it's on his clips, I will. The Bob that God made, it says, let's pray for our boys who are in harm's way. Hopefully this BS ends before the troops are wasted for someone else's war. Odin says, oh, I got that one. The Bob the God made says, just saying you don't pay taxes because you want huge military or trying to fund Mogadishu. You pay taxes because they'll throw you in the cage if not. Black Ninja says, is a troll. Oh, I got that one. Aho3 says, greater Israel incoming. Thank you, U.S. Bohica says, take the H2O break, brother. White Hat says, remember the chat. The chant to death to America, death to the West chants. Bohica with those 5 gifties. Bubba Doom says, what are the odds the folks that have a problem with Trump and his current situation never knew their fathers? Bob says, oh, you know Lindsey Graham, after hearing this, is harder than a diamond and spraying the walls white. That is true, sadly. Redline says, this reminds me a lot of the first Gulf War. Valkyria Winter says, 23 months, 199, plus watching you on Saturday night, 9 p.m. ain't giving you tax. Really? Why not? But thank you. Good to see you here. Israel issues nationwide warning.
Believe to what's in Iran. It was so successful that literally no shot essentially got sent by Venezuela.
Trump expected to address the nation on Saturday morning. That's from Axios. That just came in about 15 minutes ago. So Trump set to address the nation on Saturday morning. Now, he did already address what's going on. So again, if you are curious, Trump did upload this to Twitter directly. It already has a ton of views and a ton of reaction. Yeah, that's probably going to be one of the more viewed videos that Trump has made. Tons of comments and everything like that. So it is cooking for sure. Overall, for people wanting my, I guess, sarcasm aside, all right, dropping the sarcasm, because I use it a lot, especially when I'm tired as hell. And it's 5:30 a.m. Eastern right now. So I'm very tired and I'm very sarcastic. But this is it my third stream today? I think it's my third stream. Technically, first stream today. But anyway, my take on this is that this is something that Trump has been talking about for a long time. This is very consistent with Trump. Obviously, don't like war, don't want us in any forever wars, don't want us in any prolonged war or anything like that. But obviously, I've been a Trump supporter since 2016. I trust President Trump to do what's best for this country. And so I'm fully supportive of the operation as it stands right now. I think that this needs to be dealt with quickly and concisely, because if this drags out, this is going to be a dark cloud hanging over the administration for the midterms. So the sooner, the better. And that's kind of an obvious statement to make, but it is clear. But if you remember the Venezuela thing that happened not too long ago, and the internet went ballistic over that news, and they're like, oh my God, we're attacking Venezuela now. It's, oh, what happened to no new wars? Because people are so quick to react to stuff now. Like this TikTok generation of people that can't let anything cook. They can't let anything cook. They have to react in the moment, and they have to make a definitive claim about every single thing that has happened, about every single detail, every single piece of nuance. It's like, no, this is why it's happening. They just react because TikTok and social media has rewired so many people's brains, and that's just not how anything works in the real world. But social media has broken so many people that they don't have the ability to compartmentalize anything anymore. And so these things are complicated, and it's going to take time. Now, hypothetically speaking, if we all wake up to, I know I keep saying tomorrow because to me it's still Friday night, but hypothetically, by the middle of the day tomorrow, if this is all over and done, and no major loss of life for United States is happening, like, okay, but we don't know that. Or this could go on for 3 to 5 days. And at that point in time, then you're going to start seeing more and more questions be brought up. But like, we just don't know yet, so we just need to see what ultimately happens, see how this all plays out, and stay calm. That's why you're called panicans, a lot of people out there, because you're a panican. You freak out at everything, and you just think the worst of everything. Like I said, growing up, I'm an old man now at this point in time, but we live in a world that self-awareness and understanding of the world we live in seems to be missing on so many people. The world we live in right now is that we wake up every day and we are told the worst news in the world all day, every day, no matter what it is, no matter where it's from. Social media is beating us over the head with the worst news in the world from all over the world, 24/7. When I was growing up, I didn't know what was happening in the next fucking neighborhood to me, much less all over the fucking world. And so we have this idea that the world is falling apart and everything is terrible now. It was always terrible. There was always bad shit happening in the world. Just because we were sitting there playing with our G.I. Joes and not a worry in the world, the world was still fucked up. We just weren't told about it 24/7 because a phone and our laptop and computers and technology is feeding our brains constantly. And some people don't have the ability to understand that. Some people don't think because all they do is consume. And they don't have the ability to go, you know, social media has kind of got us all fucked up. Maybe we should take a step back and kind of breathe a little bit. And, you know, but so it is what it is, man. And I'm not saying that I've had to go through learning that too and rewire how I approach a lot of this stuff. Now, this is a major news story. We would know about this, all right? We would know about a lot of these major things, but that doesn't mean that every bad thing in the world that has basically just beaten us over the head for the last 10, 15 years, and we're just like, oh, the world's so terrible and everything's falling apart. It was always fucking bad. You just didn't know about it. Simple as that. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this all plays out. And, you know, then we can have a logical, level-headed conversation about it. Or you can just blame Israel for all your fucking problems.
And Iran's president were targeted in strikes against the Iranian capital of Tehran. Also targeted were the commanding officers responsible, according to this official, for the mass murder of Iranian protesters. The official adds that battle damage assessments will come out later. But again, this is a massive development. A senior Israeli official telling Fox News that Iran's supreme leader and Iran's president, so the Ayatollah Khamenei and Masoud Pezeshkian, were targeted in Israeli strikes against the capital of Tehran. We don't know if they were successful as of yet. These battle damage assessments take some time, but it gives you a sense that the Americans and the Israelis, again, chose the most significant option that was on the table for military action against Iran. At this hour, the Iranians are still responding with ballistic missile fire against Israel. More alerts just sounded on phones across this country, urging people to get into bomb shelters. This will be a back and forth that continues in the days ahead as the Iranians not just continue their targeting of Israel, but also regional Gulf countries, from the UAE to Saudi Arabia to Bahrain. This is a regional war that is developing following these American and Israeli strikes against Iranian leadership. And you can hear that right now, Griff. Air raid sirens are sounding across Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. Stay with me here. Can you grab my vest? Just stay with us, Griff.
Crazy, man.
In Tel Aviv, as he puts on his protective wear, the flak jacket there. Sirens are ringing across Tel Aviv. Sirens have rung.
I saw that somebody in the chat said, let me see. Jay, I'm pissed you're supporting this BS. Well, Jay Byrne, I have a recommendation for you. You should put on a cape. And you can be super mad about it. I don't give a fuck.
And Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, were targeted in these strikes. The Israelis looking to decapitate Iranian leadership to, as how some described in the planning process, cut the head of the snake. And the Americans supporting the Israelis in these strikes. This was a combined effort to take out Iranian leadership. We, again, don't have the battle damage assessments, but just stay with me here. Okay, you can see right now there's a missile interceptor, and my cameraman's going to stay on it. There's two of them right now soaring through the skies over Tel Aviv. And you can see those lines of white smoke. Those are the interceptors that are currently in the air right now, looking to intercept the incoming Iranian ballistic missile fire. You see, this is live right now. As those sirens sounded, millions of people across central Israel are in bomb shelters as the Israelis work to shoot down this incoming Iranian fire. And Griff, it just gives you a sense of how kinetic all of this is going to be in the hours and days ahead. Again, President Trump overnight making that address, not just to the nation, but to the world. And you can hear the explosions there. Those are interceptors that are successfully shooting down those incoming Iranian ballistic missiles. And again, it's not just here in central Israel, Griff, it is across this country, and you hear those explosions there as these missiles are being shot down in the distance. Griff.
Trey, a frightening moment there. Please stay safe. But let me ask you, because as we are learning that this is likely going to be days, not hours, and the Israeli people not new to the interceptors and Iron Dome having to defend against missile attacks. But at the moment we're in now, and
I am curious if is Ben Shapiro in Israel? Is he helping fight since he cares so much? I am pretty interested to know if little Ben Shapiro's over there. I'm sure Ben's over there helping fight since he loves it so much and he thinks that, that's the most important thing. So he should be over there, right?
For Israel has a tiered missile defense system. At the lowest level, the Iron Dome. Then they have David Sling. And then they have the Arrow 2 and 3 system. And all of those systems will be on standby, prepared to shoot down incoming fire. What you just saw there was likely the Arrow 2 or 3 system. Again, shooting down.
Now the anti-Israel people are like, wait a minute. Is he on our side? No, I'm not on your side. But I'm not on little Ben Shapiro's side either. I don't like Lil Ben Shapiro. I don't like his pro-Israel bullshit. I can't stand him, but I can't stand you more. So just for the record.
Several days and even weeks, Griff, we have seen these C-17 planes landing across the Middle East and here in Israel, many of them carrying these missile defense systems and the interceptors that are needed. So the preparation for this operation that was launched by President Trump.
Cam says he's in Nashville. Good old Nashville. I don't know if I said that right. So spurg out at something, Jeremy. I'm trying. Listen, I'm going to tell all of you a little secret, okay? All of my sarcasm and arguing with you, it's to help keep me going because I'm tired. So I got to do something to keep me just talking shit and all of that. So, is this right here? Holy crap. Wow. Look at this tweet right here. How is this still up? How is this tweet still up? I don't even want to show it, to be honest, but I'm going to. Yo, Iran, pointing to Mar-a-Lago. So this account is essentially saying, yo, Iran, target Mar-a-Lago. Pretty sure Trump's not even there, by the way, you idiot. So, yeah. But that's, it's got 12,000 views. It's been up since yesterday. Of course, PDS in a nutshell. All right. So boom, boom, boom. Got this one, got that one. See where we're at. Odin, the German Shepherd, says that no new wars would be nice. Agreed. I mean, yes, but I also not sure that this would qualify as a new war. I don't think this qualifies as a new war. I think this one's been going on for a long time. Trex said, Jeremy, what's the difference between Trump and Bush, and how many Iranians are we going to have to let in? There's plenty of differences, but if you're asking me to tell you the difference, then you're a lost cause. Let's see. Patriotic Eagle says the Dem freak out is going to be something. The White Hat says the new Dutch gay prime minister should help Iran. Hayden Wayne says, I just DM'd you the Asman vid, would be a great react. It's a great video on a YouTuber dealing with what's going on from his perspective. Noted. ACC says, put me on your lap, Jeremy. Hold me. I'm scared. I'll pass. Aho3 says, leave Shapiro alone. You will do it for us. I listen, I've said this many times. I actually like Ben Shapiro's political or his pop culture takes, and I hate his political takes. Anytime Ben Shapiro talks about politics, I would like to say what I would like to do, but this is on YouTube. So like I would just say like the Logan Paul Forest video. That's what I would like to do at that point. It's just like I just want to be done. I don't want to be here anymore. When I listen to Ben Shapiro talk about politics, it's Minecraft. All right. That's what I'm just like, I don't even want to be here anymore. Like the man's politics are horrible, but his pop culture takes are good. So there's that. Gannon says, I'm worried about the CCP trying to make their move on Taiwan this weekend. May need to watch that. Jocko Strap says, thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Liberty Prime says, dance, I ran so far away. I need to watch that video. I repeat, y'all just let Trump cook. That's where I'm at. Patriotic Eagle says, Halo 199. I remember Trump told the Ayatollah, I know where you're hiding. I trust Trump. Keep going, brother. Blessed to be here. Thank you, man. Let me see what this video is Hayden Wayne's got for me. Here we go. Let's see.
Viewer. Thank you to Nomad and Asmongold. Nomad's one of my mods.
Hi. This video is going to be way different from the videos I have made in the past. And I never planned on making a video like this. As many of you may know, I currently live in a country where it's not doing well. I want to give a massive thanks to Asmongold and Nomad for giving.
Okay, this is a longer video, and so I definitely will check this out, Hayden. I probably won't do it right now because there's just too many news stories going on right now. But I will bookmark that and I will check that out because that does look very interesting. It's 5 days ago, and he got 1.4 million views in 5 days. That's crazy. So I will check that out. I was not aware of that one, so thank you so much for that. Let me see. Pro-Israel and anti-Israel are both incredibly irritating. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And that's what's funny is they both think that the other is annoying, and we're like, you're both annoying.
Of Gaza that lasted 2 years. Houthis in Yemen, there are suggestions that Houthis may be about to fire missiles at Israel as well. It is a volatile situation. For the moment, these skies are peaceful, but they have roared with thuds, with interceptions this morning. And I think it would take a very brave man or woman to bet against that being repeated in the near future.
Adam, thank you very much indeed. And well, it's often said that truth is the first victim in war, but it is worth repeating what is being said. And the Iranians are saying that their army chief, Major General Amir Hatami, is safe.
Got you, Hayden. I got you.
Actively commanding the armed forces. The Revolutionary Guard Corps says Tehran's retaliation will continue relentlessly until the enemy is decisively defeated. Let's speak to the political analyst and former Middle East advisor at the US Department of Defense, Jasmine El-Gamal. Good morning. And why this and why now, do you think?
Good morning, Mark. Well, look, that's a really good question, and the answer is not clear because what we have here are two conflicting.
Well, I could have said that. I could have said that.
Leading up to these attacks, the U.S. and Israeli sources have been saying that they've been unhappy with the progress in the nuclear talks and that they don't see the outlines of a deal happening. The Omani foreign minister, on the other hand, Oman as
Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on. I give you the short version of it. Yeah, she doesn't know. But we have to fill airtime here on this show. So I'm going to kind of bullshit my way through this. I do like Sky News Australia. But yeah, that's all that was. So, impeach Trump. Oh, well, they've already done that multiple times, buddy, but I'm sure another one will be around the corner soon and you can jerk off to that. But, yeah. So, yeah, Sky News Australia is based. They're funny as hell too. So this is Trump's speech from earlier. I'm sure most of you have already heard it by now, but this is going to be the most replayed thing. Now, the rumor is that Trump is supposed to address the nation this morning. So we don't know what time or anything like that. But that's the latest rumor. I feel like Twitter is not refreshing on me, but we'll see. Let me see. Yeah, for some reason, Twitter is not refreshing for me right now. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, it's working now. Finally. Took forever. Benjamin says, let's see. It's I'm now questioning the constitutionality of the War Powers Resolution Act. Why the flip-flop would Congress delegate some of their approval power? War Wizard says, your rent-free occupation in Quartering Head is eating up my free time with all the 6-hour clip videos on the casino. I mean, I don't... the casino is just... they're so funny, man. They're so fucking funny. ACC... What does this mean? I am tired. I can't deal with your shit. But I appreciate you being here. Let's see what Trump's saying. We know what Trump's saying. You've all heard it, but
this is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
That was President Trump a short time ago announcing major combat operations in conjunction with Israel have begun in Iran, striking multiple targets in the capital in Tehran, but also in other cities in multiple locations, with Iran retaliating, striking in Israel, launching missiles. No casualties have been heard in Israel, but obviously, as we saw from Trey Yingst, the bomb shelters are filling up as missiles are launched there. Also, Iran responding at multiple Middle Eastern countries, in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia, in the UAE, in Qatar. Let's go now to Justin Fulcher, who is a former senior advisor to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and former Pentagon official. Justin, good morning. What do you make of what we're waking up to this morning?
Well, good morning. I think what we've seen is that last night's actions were not impulsive. This was a deliberate, coordinated military operation designed to degrade Iran's capacity, which is a very clear threat to the United States and our forces across the region. The U.S. and Iran have been negotiating for months, really since Operation Midnight Hammer, yet Iran has continued to advance its missile capability.
Odin says, is Iran a danger to Canada or Mexico? Should they bomb Iran also? Let me tell you a little secret, Odin. Nobody's going to fuck with Canada or Mexico because they share borders with the United States. That's a little secret that nobody knows. But yeah, Canada and Mexico don't have to worry about shit because the USA takes care of every fucking thing. That's the bottom line there. So they can sleep at night, or they can run their cartels, or they can, they can run their illegal bank account bullshit in Canada. They can do whatever the fuck they want because nobody's going to fuck with them because America takes care of all the problems. So you're welcome, Canada. You're welcome, Mexico. Bill Herb says Sneeko tweeted out this: Trump at 80 years old would rather drag America into World War III than to have Epstein blackmail footage released. Liberty Prime is just dropping 99-cent super stickers. Thank you, Liberty Prime. Good to see you.
Details around specific targets, how effective they were, and ultimately, the path moving forward. He's made it extremely clear that he is going to do whatever it takes to back up and prevent Iran from developing advanced nuclear capabilities. And what we've seen from some of the reporting on the ground and around the region is that it appears to be that the U.S. has been striking key military advantages and assets that Iran has. And Israel's, of course, taking their approach, targeting some of the.
If Trump is going to address the nation this morning, whatever this morning is, I might want to go get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep and then get back on it, because I will be right back here. So if I could just get like 3 hours of sleep, I'll be good. I'd like to get 4 if possible, but I don't know yet. But the Trump is set to address the nation this morning. We don't know what time yet, but that's where we're at. I'm thinking, I don't know, man. It's almost 6 a.m. now. So like if it's 8 a.m., then what's the point? I should stay live. But I don't know. 3 is a special number. 15 minutes, take it or leave it. Liberty Prime. Oh, that's not Liberty Prime. So he did drop. Good Lord. Okay. Liberty Prime, Solo Felix, Flag Ninja, Liberty Prime, Solo Felix, all these super stickers right there. Let me see. Hope the Ayatollah is gone. It doesn't seem like he is, but again, it's almost like impossible to know with the information that's out of Iran. There is no way to know. There's zero way to know if he is gone or not. So, let me see here. The Bob that God made says, "Get some sleep, you fool." Maybe a few hours. That's all I'm thinking. I just wish I could get a more accurate time on when Trump is going to address the nation. But I don't know yet. How does Trump keep going at like double my age? I don't know how he does it. Because he uploaded this 3 hours ago. So this was 3 hours ago when he uploaded this. You have to imagine he hasn't got much sleep tonight. Let's see, like that. He takes naps throughout the day. You're talking about Trump. I'm not much of a nap person. So I'm not much of a nap person. Darth Manic says, this is the exact type of leadership that made me MAGA in 2016. I'm all about this. Trump is a machine. No alcohol. Trump don't drink. I don't drink either. I've never drank. I've never had a sip of alcohol in my life. Never done a drug. Never smoked a cigarette. Never, none of that shit. So I ate a lot of Little Debbie cakes though. So I guess that balances it out. So, Trump only gets 4 hours of sleep on the regular. Yeah, I usually get about 5. So, 5.5 is usually what I get. Odin the German Shepherd says, I'm 20 years sober for me. I'm super proud of that. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. Microwave pizza rolls. 6 here. Yeah. Aaron James says, okay, get some sleep, brother. Thanks again for the stream. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to go crash for a couple of hours and then we're going to get back on it because there is no information right now. It's all speculation, even through like watching Fox. It's just like, it's impossible to get any information. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see Trump address the nation. So, But the other thing too is, so I've been live for how many hours have I been live today? Almost 7. Like I can feel my voice will not last if I don't get a little bit of sleep. So anyway, we're going to end it there. One thing you got to do, make sure notifications are turned on. I have streamed so much on this channel in the past 24 hours. I have no notifications left. So you might not get notified. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll put a tweet out. I'll try to remember to put a tweet out because I have no notifications. TJ says, I've never smoked and really never will. I have drank wine coolers on holidays, but I stopped because it was really expensive fruit juice, not worth it. Yeah, I just never saw the appeal to it. I don't judge people if you have, that's cool, but I'm sure there's a couple people that are live that are covering this, and but I'll be back in a few hours, depending on when Trump is going to go, and we'll see. Alex says, I've been up for the whole stream at 6 a.m., and I'm pushing through the tired. I'll probably get Whataburger for breakfast. Meta PC code 199. So, all right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in a few hours, and we'll hopefully have some updates then. So have a good night. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.